Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah, I have the
Can
echo
you
going
hear
now.
me?
Yes, I can. Shoot, I get
Okay.
double echo.
Okay. Then you just have to shut down the audio on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay, I shut off my audio on YouTube, so that should prevent that. Uh,
Okay, I think it's coming alive now.
uh-huh.
Hi, Jeff. Hello, Tim. Hello, Jorge.
Jeff
Hello,
says it's coming
everybody else who
through
might be
loud
watching.
and clear.
Finally. So that's what happens when I try to do a Discord and have no clue on how to do it on a Mac with an iPad and a combination of applications. Uh,
Yeah.
but we're here now. And we were having a great conversation. Terry's going to be coming back soon. And let me just make sure he got the link. Wouldn't it stink if I somehow screwed that up? Uh, hey,
Yes.
Diana, I totally screwed up the whole stream
I heard. I was listening to you. I'm like, how did he manage this?
because I'm trying to do Discord and I totally messed it up.
We need to
Welcome back, Terry.
Well,
practice
Discord,
before
OBS, and StreamYards.
Yes,
we-
I made
Okay.
it. I made a mess.
You had like a combination thing going? Is that what you're trying to
And I think it didn't like each other. I have to figure that part out.
Yeah, like I said, we should get together sometime throughout the week, and maybe I can help you out a little bit because I know a little bit more about Discord and OBS, but unless I can see what you're doing, I
True.
can't help much.
The only hard part might be that you're a Windows guy and this thing is all Mac, but it may not matter because they should be pretty much the same. Hey, Tim heard us
Yeah,
from the living room.
yeah.
That must mean we came on very loud. Everybody probably had it like full blast, trying to figure out why they couldn't hear us.
Well, Jeff
Oh,
says
guys,
he said we were coming through loud and clear.
I'm so sorry. um, but yeah, we were having quite a discussion. I don't even remember what it was because I got so. Oh my gosh, what
Well,
did I
well,
do?
All right, fellas, can you hear me?
about SJ,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we're talking about
I can
SJWs.
barely hear you.
Oh, I can hear
Hang
him
on, I
good.
could get louder.
No, you don't need to be louder. At least not on my end.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. In fact, I might be a little too loud. Let me. I was looking at the level light and it looked like it might be a little loud. Yeah, SJWs. I was just saying. I think we're all SJWs if we're involved in it. It's just what side you're on, and Then we were talking. I mentioned just that peace depends on what we do, according to Apostle Paul, which means I have to do better.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't
Oh, and
laugh
that,
about it, but I do.
and then we talked about rules of war that there really are none. You know,
Yes, Terry.
we just do things that are to make it harder. I
For the
started
good
quoting
guys, at least.
the one guy from Star Trek, uh, Garrick, the tailor.
Oh,
Timothy's like, no, we are not SJWs. He was a Cardassian.
well, yeah. Not like what I'm saying though is if we're in a social justice war, we're all kind of social justice warriors. It's just what side are we on? Um, and like it's just something to keep in mind because like I was saying earlier when you guys couldn't hear us, if we're in a war, we both have bullets, we both have bombs. And that was when I think Terry said something striking, but I can't remember exactly what it was. Um, but yeah, it's just recognizing that, if we're living by the teachings of the Bible and we're supposed to, be peaceful as far as it depends on us, that changes my outlook on war. And I think that was how we got on to, in real war, there are no rules, but the rules just make it harder.
Yeah. Timothy says, here's the reason why SJWs are all about the cause. No matter if it contradicts or actually what they do or actually act. Yeah.
It's just scary because I know a lot of good people that get caught up in it, and it's like when it takes over, ego becomes part of it. Nobody wants to admit when they're wrong, if they were wrong, and it just gets messy. It's like so hard to come back from something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Like I remember,
you know,
I would have been called a liberal back in the '90s, and I probably still would be if not for Bill Clinton proving that presidential honor was worthless. That was when I lost all my faith in Democrats.
Hell, most of us were considered liberals back in the 90s,
Yeah.
all because we went against the establishment.
However, the funny thing is, what I was in the '90s is called Nazi today.
I know.
It wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying?
It
It was
wasn't
like,
that bad.
yeah, it's like, wait a minute here. How did I go from this to that? Oh, you changed the definition. Great. Hey, for our friends here, we have friends.
Like, you want to know something real funny?
What's that?
Ugh. The people that call us Nazis now really act like Nazis.
Yes, that's another painful truth. Like I got what do they call it? My account was locked for a week on Twitter, and it was because of someone complaining, and they flagged it for hate. And I'm learning now. I'm gonna, if it happens again, I'm gonna appeal it. But I always
yeah.
I go, oh well, I'll delete it and just wait my time. But now I'm like, wait a minute here. The only reason it got flagged was because somebody got sensitive. It wasn't even really a hateful comment. It was just, insensitively rude in a way. So it becomes objective or subjective, one or the other. Yeah. Gosh, I'm loving this. Yeah, I woke up this morning and just started drawing out the next page. And then I was like,
Now,
well, I need more panels.
hey, fellas, I want you to hear me out before you start laughing. Oh, very funny, Chris.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, if you really want to stay away from anything the Nazis did, you shouldn't buy anything made by Mercedes-Benz and a few other companies.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you really shouldn't fly in a jet plane.
They tied to that too?
They beat the Nazis beat the rest of the world to the punch with that one.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. For all their nastiness, they sure had some good scientists,
First of all, you have to understand the Nazis understood that conflict breeds innovation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know what? I think that's something that our government learned. That's why we have all these proxy wars and stuff, because that means they have to sell weapons, which means they have to innovate to compete. And it's the same idea. It's like, as long as
Soviets
you're
and the
always fighting,
Americans
you're
did the
making
same
better
thing
stuff.
during the Cold War.
What's that?
The Soviets and the Americans did the same thing during the Cold War.
Yes.
Think about it.
And to an extent, I think it's still happening.
Think about it. The Soviets developed a micro-sized camera. The Americans stole it, improved on it. Then the Soviets stole that and improved on that.
Only now we have the Chinese, and they're really good at it. I mean, I know that we're supposed to, keep in mind they're communist and the hated enemy. But it's in a world that's going global.
You have to understand, nobody's going to go to nuclear war. That would defeat the whole purpose.
Hello. all you
What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up?
Timothy.
Hey,
Well.
I'll give you an example.
I hope you brought enough for everybody.
I'll give you an example. She was in that show. I think it was at was it the one with
What are
Tony
you giving
D'Angelo?
us an example of, Timothy?
Well, if you give me, let me speak. I can tell you. She was talking about Elon Musk and how she could never back. She didn't want to support Twitter anymore because she could never understand how people could support a company ran by a fascist. And she had just gotten rid of her Tesla, and she got back her Volkswagen.
This has to be Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, that chick. But Volkswagen was started by the Nazis.
Right.
So that's what I mean. I don't think of myself as a social justice warrior because I mean what I say, and I really do try to follow what I say. I
do too, but when I say I'm in a social war, I'm like, and yes, I am a social warrior. I will kick the butts of these so-called social warriors, not physically, but like I don't let them steamroll me. I don't want anybody hurt, so I talk to them fairly, and I think that kind of blows their mind. You know, they don't know what to do when you don't want them dead. You know, and truly nobody does, but you have to talk them down from that because they're going to put everything on you. You're a white supremacist. You're a racist. You're a homophobe. This, that, the other thing.
Yeah. What you do is when they do that, you remind them that because they use that for everything, that literally them calling you a Nazi means absolutely nothing.
Yes.
I've done that before, and they don't have any comeback for that. It's like, you do know that has no meaning to me, right? Because you use it for everything.
Yep. That's so true. It actually, it's almost insulting of their own intelligence because it's like, you obviously don't know what a Nazi really was. Because if you did, you'd never call another human being that unless they were.
They also don't know the meaning of the word fascist because they've never looked it up. So...
Well, yeah, and the true fascist, I mean, you can say what you want about Trump and the Republicans, but true fascism was not ever as gentle and kind as Trump and the Republicans, no matter what they think of them. I mean, otherwise, Black Lives Matter, that whole riot thing would not have happened. They would have just shot the people in the streets, called it, martial law, and that would be the end of it.
Well, this is another example of their hypocrisy is Black Lives Matter, and then the money went to the founder and no one else.
It went to the real estate agents.
Yeah, she bought 6 huge mansions.
Yeah,
it didn't even go to some chapters of Black Lives Matter, and it definitely didn't go to any of the communities that they said they were for.
Yeah, it's really it's sad, and it's almost like nobody wants to talk about it because everybody who fell into it now feels a little stupid,
Well, and then when they're called on it, they deflect by calling them racist.
Well, they do, yeah, but I mean, like okay, so I have a lot of family members that bought full into that whole thing, and I'm like, well, you got it's a scam, but they don't want to talk about it, even though they got scammed, even though I was right all along.
Yeah.
They're like, doesn't matter, you're still stupid. Same thing with the vaccine, same thing with the COVID.
Yeah.
Whenever I've been right in the last 10 years, I've been stupid and just got lucky, even though it keeps happening.
Yeah.
And It's not that I'm a wizard or anything. You just have to pay attention and not trust the mainstream media.
Or do a little bit of research for yourself,
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say don't trust them. If they say something, make sure you check it out if you're going to run with it, because they're more than likely telling you something weird.
The Republicans have been saying a lot of stupid shit too. That's the thing is that people. It's not about like. People don't even criticize the people they actually vote for either. They just kind of like, they have our best interest in heart when they really don't.
Yeah, well, that's been something that I think I've been upsetting people on Twitter with, but I really don't care.
Yeah.
They're trying to turn Biden's, document controversy here, the classified docs, into some sort of justification for Trump. And I'm like, no. If Biden broke a law, prosecute him. If Trump broke a law, prosecute him. Like, I'm not here to say, well, because Biden did it, it's okay. I'm here to say, if either one of them did it, they should. What are we talking about here? If they're breaking the law, putting our national security at risk, why, and honestly, I'm going to be honest about Trump. if they had something, he'd already be arrested. I think they hate him enough.
Yeah.
They wouldn't play this whole, well, he's a president. We can't. No, they would go after him with iron chains.
They went after Clinton the same.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, they have gone after Trump umpteen number of times, and nothing sticks.
Yep. Well, that the history
This guy
is
like
favoring Trump
non-stick
at this point.
cookware.
I mean, it's
You'd
kind
think
of,
they would learn at this point.
yeah, but they're also counting on the fact that people don't pay attention, like the whole,
Which is
Russian thing.
absolutely true for a vast majority of the Democratic base.
Republican and Democrat, they're pretty much all the same, if you ask me.
I think Republicans are more informed, but they're informed by the biased right wing at all times,
Yeah.
Whereas, like the Democrats, they just kind of go by whatever Jimmy Kimmel said last night on Late Night. That was
Yeah, sort of. Well, it's kind of like, well, because they said it, then I can't. The other side said it, so therefore I can't.
right. Yep, there's a lot of that. Hey, the Earth is round. Well, Trump
Well,
said
you got to
that.
understand
well,
the Democrats used to love him until he switched sides.
Yeah.
Well, your classic liberal is not even liberal enough anymore. I mean, you had people like what was his name? He used to do that. He used to do that political comedy show. He said crap about people grown-ups people who like comic books. What was his name?
Not Colbert, right?
Not Colbert. No.
Was it Daly?
No. Dang it! I can't. The name's not in my head, but he's been like a lifelong bachelor. He's never gotten connected to anyone. He's never been married.
Oh,
He has a hate boner for anything that's religion.
that's a few guys.
Oh yeah, but this guy is
Hardcore.
yeah, I think he's like half Catholic. He grew up Catholic, but I guess he's part Jewish. I don't know.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
So it's not George. What's his face?
It's like let me freaking Google it. Dang it! I hate it when I can barely remember a name, but I knew it a second ago. Bill
So
Maher.
Rick.
Bill Maher.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Maher. All right.
You had Bill Maher asking, saying, "Why did you guys wait until after the election to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop?"
It's a good question.
I was shocked to even hear him get kind of like, why did people, why did they wait until after the election to think about it or to talk about it? I don't know. I just kind of got to the point where I don't see any difference between Republican or Democrat or left or right. They're all kind of a part of the same bullshit.
Yeah, one bird, two wings.
Yeah. I mean, I even hear my parents kind of blindly just follow whatever they're told.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and you know what? I used to be guilty of it.
Yeah.
But this last election, the last 3 years or so of COVID coverage,
Yeah.
like I don't even trust the people I used to trust. I feel like we were just sold out on that, and there was plenty of logical opposition that they squelched.
Yeah.
That we should have heard.
You could point out anything that the Democrats do, and my parents are like, "Oh, well, where'd you get that from? Where'd you?" And they sit down and watch MSNBC and CNN and all that,
Yeah.
blindly, and just believe whatever they're told from that.
Well, and some of the sources are even worse. Like The View is a stupid talk show on the
Yeah.
daytime schedule, but there are women that watch that and think that it's gospel.
Yeah.
Oh, Diana just left, so I'm gonna get dogs.
So people very misinformed on
Well,
that.
It's just that these people have their own their own supporters who follow whatever they say, whatever they just
Well, they trust him so much that they're like, well, Whoopi wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
she
I think
does all the time.
I think it might be a generational thing too, because I mean, my parents are from the generation where they still trusted the news, and the news told you,
Well, yeah, Walter Cronkite was almost God on wheels.
Yeah. Well, there's the thing is too. 50 years ago when those guys were growing up, or well, probably
I miss the Walter
long ago.
Cronkites of the world.
You know, they wouldn't even question the news, but there was nothing to prove the news wrong either. Most of the
That's
time,
true.
like we didn't have the internet. Citizen journalism.
well,
You
here's
know,
the thing is too, conspiracy
you know,
theories are on the rise because people are so connected to the internet. So
yeah. But the thing is, maybe not as much conspiracy theorists as it is. Like that's what the kooks that spouted all the stuff that we, you might spout today and think it's a conspiracy theory, you know,
yeah.
and then find out 6 months later it's not, You have the internet to prove most of this stuff.
The problem with conspiracy theories is not really a problem for conspiracy theories themselves. Is that I've heard stuff since like the mid 80s and all of it is coming true. Now, maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's just because, that's the course man was always going to go. It's like looking outside and seeing clouds and going, oh, it's going to rain soon. Or maybe they were onto something. But I've been hearing about some bad stuff since like 89 on up, maybe when I was in school. And
Yeah.
like the
Well,
world is definitely changing into that one world, new world order, globalization crap.
yeah, but see, unfortunately, most of the people spouting that sort of stuff were Christians and they were getting, the Bible.
Yep. Yep. Well, and to an extent that's still happening. If I go out there today on Twitter or the street and I start preaching about, the end of the world and apocalypse and, the Antichrist, you'll get mocked right out of this, out of the situation 9 out of 10 times unless you run into some fellow Christians. And then you're usually just preaching to the choir. Um, so it's like the world when they hear, oh, you're talking about that. Well, I'm not that. They're bigots or whatever whatever their bias is about it.
Oh, Rick,
Yeah.
Religion has
I
become
know I'm
almost
4
like
years
a.
too late for this question.
Oh,
Tell
and
me about
later, Jeff.
tell me about that invasion that was supposed to happen. You know the one where if Donald Trump got elected, they were all going to leave.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is
Well,
what I
Donald Trump didn't get elected, so they didn't invade.
Yeah, they said it was a fake
or are you
election.
talking back in 2016?
I'm talking 2016. That's why it's
Well, remember back in 2016, it was okay to say that the president wasn't elected. The Russians elected him. But once Biden was elected, you couldn't question the election. If you did, you were a traitor.
Yeah.
true.
Well, I mean, I still don't think that. I think it's if any conspiracy theory has been considered, it's probably a coincidence.
Yeah,
Well-
it probably is.
But I mean, like for instance, I was debating somebody who thought that that Donald Trump was the Antichrist.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Okay,
know
get
it's
your facts
ridiculous. That's
straight
the
about
point.
the Antichrist first.
Well,
Know who
people
he's
don't
supposed
even.
to be. Yeah. There is one thing that sort of made me half go down that thought for a second or two is when he sort of made a little bit of peace in the Middle East. Because we know the Antichrist is going to do that, but he doesn't fit so many other things for the Antichrist.
Well, the theologians still are debating if the Antichrist is a person or an entity.
Oh, they'll find out when God wants them to. That's the thing about all of the prophecy, like classes and predictions. I love them, but I'm always like, but if Jesus says, yeah, you guys are not right, we're just not going to be right. It's just the way it is. It's good food to chew on, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm what's the word? I'm a pan trib, or it's all gonna pan out how God wants.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Do I want it to be, say for the rapture? Do I want it to be pre-trib? Yes, because I don't really want to go through all that crap that I see in Revelation,
Right. Yeah, I would
or
want
even
it to be
some
if
of it.
possible.
But there each side, if you will, each opinion has their way to back up their scriptures in their way.
Today's today. Tomorrow, I don't know. I don't worry about what's gonna happen.
So
You just play your
I'm
part.
just gonna live for Christ as best as I can, and it's all gonna pan out the way God it's supposed to.
Yeah, no matter what you do, it's going to happen on his time, when he wants it, and how he wants it.
Now
I've
you
tried
were
to
gonna
argue
ask
with
me
him several times.
You're nothing
you were
but
gonna ask
shadows
me a
and dust.
question a couple minutes ago before we got down this thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I wanted to show you. Remember, we were talking about what this was. So I showed you
Oh,
those other pages to Man Guy,
okay, okay.
and
Let me
this
get
here.
over. I can't see
Now
what
that
you're
I'm
doing because I'm focused on me. My thing. Let me get over.
okay, hang on. I
Okay,
gotta
you're showing
darken up
Mighty
the.
Geek.
Yeah, I gotta darken up this panel, and I gotta find it
Well,
because I don't label them.
Okay,
I don't know who's
Chris,
going
you
to
need to
say
show
Canada.
you. You need to show you because you're showing Mighty Geek.
Okay, hang on. Here we go.
Yeah.
Boom.
And later,
Oh,
Jeff.
hold
Hey,
up.
Jeff. Nice to see you, man. So that's how he transfers what he sees. He puts his hands over your eyes with the lighting, and it burns into the brain, and then he gets to see what all the other ones are seeing. And of course, these are all the monsters getting ready to attack him. He just doesn't know it's coming yet. Well, he's finding out now, but I don't know. This could become a cover. It might end up being a cover.
Yeah, it looks more coverish to me.
But you know how I love to do like collages and stuff, so it's going to be fun to figure out where I want to use it. Hang on, I got some private messages I haven't seen. Hi, hello, hi. Hey, Tim. Hi.
Yeah, that's just.
That must have been when he was backstage. He's got a smile. That's good. So yeah, this is like every character that's been in the book except for the school teacher, the mother. That's about it.
I see.
It's going to be fun though. It's so what's happening there is Bryce is basically seeing everything all these little punch puppies is seeing. By the way, the punch puppies, Tim, they
Yeah.
have a species name too. They're called dodo balls.
Wait, punch puppies?
Punch puppies are just their street name.
Oh,
This is a punch puppy. He has little hands
Okay.
that he can transfer what all the other punch puppies are seeing by putting them over the eyes. That's what I'm drawing on the other page.
wait. Is their weakness going to be soda pop?
Oh, come on.
Maybe.
Like
Come on.
you got a scene where the villain like that finds one and
Yeah.
he takes a can of soda and just pours it on the thing that's melting away.
I might try
And
that.
Tim, I sort of don't think so.
You don't think so, huh?
Mhm.
No, I sort of don't think so.
Oh, boo!
I sort of think you're pulling his leg.
I sort of think so too.
So this is
I really popped him with that one.
so these are sketches or whatever you want to call them. They're not finished art, but they're gonna be of the punch puppy going through the hallway to get to Bryce to give him the information that you see being transferred there.
I see.
But the twist
So
is
what do you
in the
guys think
attack. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead first.
I'm just babbling so it doesn't go too quiet.
Oh.
What do you think of my cityscapes so far?
Not
So
bad.
far, I like it. The only thing I would tell you to consider, and this is only because I'm working on it too, is like 2 point perspective or 3 point perspective to add some depth. But I
Yeah.
like the detail, and I got to be honest, I freaking love Windows, and I don't mean the operating system, but I get so caught up in drawing Windows, I'm like, yeah, man, that works. So welcome to Rebellious Pastry.
Hey, Rebellious, how you doing?
Welcome.
So, does anybody
Uh,
know Rebellious Pastry?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Rebellious
So I
is.
am from Crossy's channel. I would have been here a few minutes ago, but I took one wrong turn.
Well, welcome.
I thought it was
You thought we were in my Discord.
yeah.
We were for we were for a bit, but Chris had a few problems in
Yeah, I
working.
messed it up totally.
But just so
And
everybody
I was gonna say, because Rick has vouched for you, I can take my hand off the remove button. Because when you have the link open in StreamYard, sometimes the person coming in is someone you don't know, and then you get surprised.
And then Melvin is
Timothy.
Timothy. Timothy can also vouch for me.
There you go.
And
He's
I
so
can
there.
vouch for you. And I can vouch for you
Yeah.
too.
Well, if these three guys are vouching for you, I got to vouch for you too. So you get a 4 out of 5 here. Do you vouch for yourself?
Yes.
That's 5 out
And
of 5.
besides,
I would hope so. But
if Pastry acts up, we'll just tell her mom. We all know her mom.
no, we don't. We know
Oh,
about
yes, we do.
Mom.
They're
We've been there when she interviewed her mom.
Well, I didn't watch that stream, and as I was about to say, Pastry is part of a the LGBT community, but
Welcome.
Pastry
Yeah,
is a good person, great for the most part.
most
But she-
part, yeah,
but
that's
Pastry
understandable.
Pastry does not like to be referred to as she and all that.
Well, then
So-
I need to be clear. What do I refer to you as if I go
They,
to a
them.
pronoun?
Them.
Pastry.
them.
Okay, I will try, but I got to be.
They,
You're
them.
actually a good person to talk to.
They them or just the name.
I always get screwed up with they them when I'm reading. So, you know Ezra,
Yeah.
the guy who does the Flash. Every time I read a headline on anything that happens with they, see, I'm going to try now. I always get confused because it'll say like they were arrested, and I'm like, who was arrested?
Oh,
There's only one name there, and it always f's me up every single
know.
time.
You want to know what f's me up? The fact that the language thinks there's only two genders.
Well, that's because
the language can't think. The language has been developed. Well, not even developed.
Well,
It's just been that way since
agree to
it
disagree.
started.
yeah, that's what I was going to say too. The biggest problem that the trans gender community faces with that, or even the fluid gender idea, is that you're dealing with something that's been around as long as we have, or at least until what, if you want to go extreme, maybe the last few hundred years. You know, like it was
It's
starting
that
to become
time
the,
immemorial. Since the dawn of written language, let's put it that way.
right. So it's a tough thing. Like it's not just.
But
It's
the
not just
thing is
changing-
that the thing is that gender isn't a new idea either.
Well, where in science does that prove that there's more than two?
Well, until, as we've sort of talked before, until about the last 40 years, rebellious gender has always been
Sorry.
swayed it with sex. It's been synonymous as being that.
But even if you go further back, like let's give it a grace period of 200 years, and say somewhere 200 years before it first started being heard about, it was being considered. You're still dealing with it on the Jewish time clock about 10,000 years back, on science's time clock millions of years back, as far as we know, where it was just locked into gender as sex. So when you change it, it becomes It's just not like changing the way light bulbs work or getting gas stoves out of houses or whatever. It's a almost an instinctive thing that the world is struggling with.
And now
I
you know
can
why I just
understand
refer to her
the
as pastry.
struggle. I
It's fair
have
that
to
way.
put up with it every day. I wish I was joking.
I believe it, but I mean,
Uh,
I don't know how that changes in the short term. You know, it's going to be a tough ride until things are settled one way or the other.
Yeah.
well, so hopefully not to keep this on. It. Maybe we should try and move on to a different subject.
Yeah,
Well,
that
That way
would
we.
be
I'll
cool.
Yeah.
say this.
Yeah.
I'll say this. That's why I just refer to her as pastry. It's
Yes.
Same here. It's easier.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a lot easier to refer to
Well,
Pastry
I will say this
pastry as
though.
pastry.
Hold on.
Whatever
I
you
will
call
try to
me,
keep
Matt.
it day for you pastry because I don't have a lot of practice. I don't know any real transgender people in real life.
Let me stop that.
So I'll try. It's
Yeah.
not if I slip, it's not meant as an offense though.
Yeah.
Well,
I just want to change.
oh my god! Come on, let me finish my thought first.
I didn't
Let-
finish mine before
let the
you interrupted
Timothy,
me.
Let the Timothy.
I'm sorry.
But you can go on, Timothy.
Oh no! I feel bad.
I swear, what Crossy was gonna say is gonna be like feel like a piece of gum that's been chewed for 10 years.
No. All I was gonna say is about trying to move on because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pastry, are you into comics?
No, I'm not like a big comic person. I kind of got introduced to this community through sticky art. And I was just on Crossy's show a lot because he used to stream like every single day.
Yeah, he got lazy, didn't he?
Pastry's more into animation.
Yeah.
Animation's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how it's just like there's all these comic people and then there's this random ass animator that got in because of art of another art channel.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. We're trying to get to know all the animators so they can animate our stuff.
Most
Yeah,
of
do
them
you take commissions?
not yet.
You should. You really
Maybe one
should.
day. But here's the thing. Due to IRL obligations, I have a hard time even getting all of my videos done on time.
Right.
But
I can
like,
relate to that.
in the future, I'm not gonna be too specific on like too far, but like I'm planning to have like something to where like I will be able to do both an IRL career and also like possibly start my own company too.
Cool.
And hello, Eric Boyd.
Eric Boyd, how are you, sir?
But yeah, it's like in the future I'm probably going to go ahead and do some like logo commission work.
Nice.
Nice.
But
Yes.
yeah. Melvin, no
So-
need to feel bad. Or Timothy.
Are you in school for this, or are you done with school, or is it just an interest, or?
I prefer to say IRL obligations because I don't like to get into too deep into school, but I'm planning on to do it.
Right.
But it's not like going to be my main focus.
I did a few years of school for graphic arts, and actually I got hired out of the classroom because a job came along, and I never went back. It's not the same as an art degree, but I was like, as helpful as it is, it was worthless because it really didn't change what I was, who I was as an artist. I was just as good the day I went in as when I came out.
Well, it's like my degree in graphic design.
Yeah, I mean it relates, but it's like it's a whole different world in graphic arts, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm planning on to semi do it, but not like graphic art. But it's not going to be my main focus.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what broke my heart, and that was you'd have plumbers coming in, and you'd like hear what their company was. You get an idea, and they'd come in to sit down to figure it out, and they're like, "I just want a sink with a wrench. That's my logo." And you're like, "That's clip art," and they're like, "That's what I want. That's what I want is my logo." And so you give it to them, but it's like, oh, I could have done beautiful things with that name. I had ideas.
So it gave
But
you a
then-
really sinking feeling.
Yeah.
Crossy.
You were really wrenched by it.
Yeah, I was all plugged up creatively.
Crossy. Dad jokes are my job.
No, they're
Oh,
mine.
Technically, that wasn't a dad joke.
But Rick is famous in doing that, isn't he? Like the pun jokes.
Yeah, the puns. Yeah, the puns are Rick's thing.
Okay, fine. Yeah, on this channel, I guess. I'm also known for dad jokes too.
Take his title.
You better believe it.
Ding, 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 ding.
Looks like your title just got scrambled.
Many
He's-
many have tried, but they've all felt a wrenching feeling and some.
Maybe
I
I'll
can't come up with a
float
thing.
this time.
You guys are making me laugh. Hey, was that-
Well, that's good.
That's kind of
That's kind of the point. I know.
that's
So,
kind of
do
the
you-
point of like.
What was that? Oh,
that was not a nice person
Something
coming
that-
into the. Yeah,
chat.
that was
Yeah. it's-
very uncool.
What? Yeah. Oh, wait. Who was on Lorenzo's on Thursday?
I'm not sure offhand.
I'm not
I
sure.
wasn't,
I haven't
but I
been on
should've been.
Lorenzo's show.
I'm not talking about on air. I'm talking about in the chat.
Well, probably lots of people.
Oh yeah. Oh, just so you know, during Lorenzo's stream, like someone had like a dog with like a squeaky toy in its mouth. So during a very serious conversation, I'm just laughing at how the dog was like squeaking so much.
I don't think I heard the dog. I missed it. I didn't see it. So we have someone
I
else. in the
missed
back.
it
I'm gonna
too.
try something.
Well, doggone, you missed it.
If I put someone to full screen, right, and then I
Hey,
bring
there's
someone
some-
in,
There's somebody back there. Anybody know
Yeah, let me
Johnson
let him in and then-
3489?
okay, wait.
Hey,
Okay,
guys.
So now what-
Hey, can I
Hi.
share my art?
it depends. What's your
I
art look
don't
like?
know.
It
I
looks
don't
good.
know. What's
looks
it look
good.
like? Let's
Let me
see it.
show. Let me show
Yeah,
you.
let's see it in preview mode. Go ahead, and show it first.
Looks like there's this new person. Who knows this new person?
That
Can y'all
new
see
person
it?
there is showing Chatterbait, so they're not getting in.
Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it?
No, we couldn't see it. No.
Couldn't see it.
He's
Yeah,
laughing
because I made
like-
Rick
Hey,
big.
Christopher.
See?
Hey, Christopher.
Yes,
You
sir.
highlighted Rick.
Yes,
Yeah, that
sir.
was on purpose.
I know.
I made Rick. I shielded us from that. It was actually pornography, so.
Yeah, I
Ah.
called it.
Way to go, Crossy. Thanks for saving us. I guess.
Yes. Well, that's what I'll do it for now on. If someone comes in, I'll make one of us big and then let them in and then block them.
What'd you
Well,
say?
the
The
thing-
guy was showing. What'd you say? What'd you say? The guy was showing Lady Chatterley.
No,
I thought that-
Chatterbait.
No, Chatterbait.
Yeah, it's one of those nasty channel thing or websites.
So have you
Ah.
guys seen the update on Melbourne 3?
I would love an update on Melbourne 3.
Oh, let me send it to you, and that way you can show everybody. Because it's on my computer right now.
Oh no, Tim's gonna show us. No.
No, I think I have a little more class than that. Come on.
All right,
Rick.
hang on. All right, show us what it is, Tim. Wait a minute. Oh no, he's gonna send it to me first.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can you believe that, Pastry? Can you believe that? They think so poorly of me that they think I'm going to send them garbage.
wow.
No. I'm not saying you'd send it to us. Just show us the garbage.
It's kind of funny how like I'm literally on a channel where everyone except for the person who runs the channel knew me.
Yeah, that was cool though. I like meeting new people.
Yeah.
Except for when they're weirdos.
Well, I have to admit, I was really relieved that everybody could vouch for you because of that. Like that guy we just dealt with. That's what I was worried about. I'm like, oh, please don't be one of them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew he was up to something. He was like, "Can I come on and show you my?" I was like,
Yeah.
Are you the weirdo that was trying to show off porn? If so, no."
Well, Rebellious DM me on Discord about when the show was starting. I'm like, it's on right now. I gave her a link to the, not to get in here, but in the chat, and then I guess Rebellious saw the link in the chat.
So I
honestly,
sent
though-
Chris the update for Melbourne 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it into the thing. Hang on, here we go. I have to get it into the browser so I can share it in a window.
Oh,
I took it out of the Twitter account.
For those of you who know my channel, that'd be like the last thing I'd do on the channel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, when are you gonna send these pages, Tim?
oh, these aren't. Well, I could send them to you today if you want.
Well, I thought you had. Well, this one's I don't think done yet, right?
No. This is a rough right here.
Yeah, but you had a page before this that might be done.
Yeah, well, yeah. The idea is that they're going to shrink them. We're going to shrink them down to panel size and expand the last page by one. So
Okay.
instead of-
Okay,
instead of
they're
19
shrinking.
pages, it's going to be 20.
Okay. Okay,
Are
I
you
didn't
doing,
realize they weren't done yet. So
Are you doing 4, 6, 8, 12? How many panels per page?
Let's see. There
each
were 6
page is different.
I think there were 6 panels on the last page, but the last 3 panels are going to get moved over to a blank page, and then we're moving over one and coming out with 3 new ones for the current page, and then 3 or 4 new ones for the new page.
Cool.
So it's a simple fix.
And the comics go on.
Yep. Go ahead. You don't have to. You don't have to continue sharing now.
Oh,
I just want to shut it off.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
figure it out. Believe it or not, I'm doing a lousy job today. Hang on.
Well, guys, it's 4:10. I was 10 minutes past when I was able to stay. I've got to get ready to go out for 5. So
Bye,
Well, have
Frosty.
fun, Rick. Thanks for
Have
coming
fun.
to your show.
no, it's all of our show. Yours, mine. Well, at least yours, mine, and Mighty Geeks.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess next week we're on your channel, Mighty.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Woohoo!
And we'll-
Just send me the link so I'm not like thinking it was on yours again. Man,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
All right. No problem.
Well, yeah, that's cool.
Are you gonna use StreamYards, or are we gonna go through my Discord?
I'm gonna use StreamYards.
Okay.
I'm really interested to StreamYards, even though I don't use it on my stuff.
Yeah.
Who was the first one that I hopped on that used StreamYards? I think it was Sci-Fi Nation.
Either that or Lorenzo.
Oh yeah. Wait.
Probably
I think I was on
Lorenzo.
Nations first. I think I was on Nations before. I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of stream.
You too, brother.
All right. You too.
All right.
There's
Now-
still 2 people I know. on here, so I'm fine.
Well, technically, there are 3 people you know now.
Yeah, I know you now. Not like really well or anything, but I know
He
they
knows you well enough.
they are your pronouns.
Yes,
That's what I know.
that's the basic.
And I know
Um,
Pastry is your screen name, which is a cool screen name.
Yes, rebellious pastry,
He's a
rebellious pastry.
pastry is a
No
rebel
matter
without a
which one.
cause.
I
Hmm.
don't care. I don't care what part of my name I use. My name you use, but any part works. Eh.
So
She's
how
a-
old are you?
did a poll. I literally did a poll on what part of the name people used, and 60% say pastry.
There you
Yeah.
go. Pastry, how
They'd
old are you?
rather say pastry than go through the problem with the pronouns.
I like to say a range because it's like because on air anyway, because it's just like safety reasons, but I'd say
Yeah.
16 to 22,
Oh, cool. All right.
so not too young.
No, no. Well,
Um,
I just didn't know like okay, so like I'll be transparent because I'm like old, but I'm like 53, so I'm like, okay, am I talking to a 20 something, a 30 something, a teenager, like especially well, this is going to get weird. I'm not sure how to say this, but the ah so your voice sound could be younger or older there. That's what I'll say.
yeah. But honestly, if I had a choice in the matter, my voice would be deeper.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I like
Um,
your voice. Honestly, like
Thanks.
you could do some cool voiceovers with that voice.
Yeah. I do sometimes do like different I sometimes do like different um collaborations with people. So if you ever want me to record something for you, please let me know.
Very cool. You have a good voice. You could do radio easy.
Yeah. I have a show once a week too.
I'm gonna have to
So-
tune
Okay.
in.
Speaking of girls, where's Diana?
Diana went down to see people that claim her to be the aunt of their children, even though she's not. One of those like close friend things. And they didn't do Christmas, so
Oh,
she's over there delivering Christmas cookies and gifts.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
nice.
weird, like it's January and she's over there, but I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm gonna stay home and do a draw stream. And honestly, I draw every, like I would have been drawing with or without the stream.
Yeah.
And it was funny, like you were like, are you ready to go? And I'm like, man, now I'm happy I did. But at the time I was drawing and I'm like, oh, but I'm in the middle of this. And sometimes
Sure,
I
you
can't
can
draw on
finish it.
live streams.
First of
What's
all,
that?
you can start before the stream, and then just finish it on stream.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. I woke up this morning. I think it was 3 or 4. I'm not sure, but I started sketching out this guy on the bottom,
Hmm.
and then of course I had his whole head at the time, and I started sketching in the guys around him, and I was like, oh, I need more room to get these guys in, so I just slid him down, and I didn't mind getting rid of his lower chin because I thought it looked kind of cool.
Okay.
And yeah, it just keeps going. And
Am I
So
I'm not up on the air, sorry.
you're not up on what?
Can you please put my drawing up there too? I promise I'm not drawing Rule 34. I'm just drawing snow and a night sky.
So all I can see is your icon. If you share your screen, I should be able to see it.
I am my
Turn your
sharing of
camera on.
screen is
Oh wait, no, I see it. She's right. It's right here.
they are currently drawing
Ah.
backstage apparently.
Mhm.
So so it's like I'm drawing, but it's backstage, but yeah, I am on air.
Yeah, and now I got you up on screen too.
Thanks.
You know what happens? I'm not used to this, but when other people are sharing a screen, it comes up as a different, different. Well, you guys know as a different window.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not just like it doesn't just take over your camera; it presents a whole new window, and I forget that.
Yeah. Like
Especially if
I'm
you're
a
working on a
very
laptop. Yeah.
I'm a very camera off person. Like have you ever heard of like what would be considered like a faceless creator?
You're not faceless.
No, but like
Well,
according to YouTube, the cartoon character is the only face you see. So that's what like do you know Dream?
Ah,
You know
uh,
Dream?
from Sandman.
Dream as in like the Minecraft YouTuber that is like hella popular.
oh,
No, but
yeah.
I think I should know.
But like
I know of him.
so like the meaning of a faceless creator is basically a person who does not show their real face on air, but rather like has like a character that represents them.
Gotcha.
Well,
So
there's another term for it that they use on Twitch. They call them VTubers.
I'm not considered a VTuber because I don't have like a 3D VTuber model.
Ah,
VTubers are when you have like literally like you're like it's a cross between an animator and a like in person like streaming. It's basically like it works like more like in person, but it's like an avatar that's showing instead of you. So technically your camera is still on for that.
yeah.
So it's like a live animator. It takes whatever the camera's inputting and turns it into the avatar in motion.
Pretty much. Or like
Yeah.
it's like a lot of sensors and whatnot. But not me. Yeah, during Lorenzo's we got in a pretty heated argument over AI created work. Don't want to do that again, but
Well, there's one thing about AI art. Everyone's gonna hate you if you do it.
in fact I would be one of the haters.
Mm,
I think you're going to see it get more accepted as as it improves. But
yeah.
for me, it's kind of like a drum machine, you know.
Mm,
It's fine for practice. It's some people can deal with it in their music, but I will always prefer a live drummer.
yeah.
Um, and I think it's always going to be that way with art. I don't care. I'm envisioning one day they're going to have a program that will draw like in particular artist styles, like you buy the John Byrne package or the Todd McFarlane package, and you type
Right.
in Spider-Man over New York, angle 45 degrees, time 1 p.m., you know, and the computer
Yeah.
will generate like a 3D rendering that you can move around and customize, and it'll all be in that artist art style. That's what I'm envisioning one day, and it's gonna suck. Except the real artist will still stand out.
Of course.
I personally do not like it because like it literally like it feels impersonal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna like
It's
if I'm gonna
cheating.
get art, then I'm gonna get it then I'm gonna go ahead and get it done by a real person. Or better yet, I would be the real person.
Right.
Right.
But like I think the faceless creator community like so like do you know Marshmallow?
I think I
think
actually
so.
do know Marshmallow. Yes.
He's considered a faceless creator because as you see like you never see his face, you just see his character.
Mm,
So it's like
So
the
yeah,
character
so he's
rep-
actually live, but he's hidden.
Yes. That's what I mean by faceless creator.
I got it now.
So yeah,
that would describe me sometimes.
but yeah, you're technically not a faceless creator if you've shown your face though, because it's
Hmm.
like your channel's gonna know you by your face instead
Yeah.
of like by your character.
So it's really a lifelong character commitment if you're going to pull it off. Like I could do it if I
Yeah.
created a new alias, but you never show your real face after you do that.
No.
Yeah.
You'd always have to be in mask or in icon or whatever you're using.
But yeah, and some character or some like, especially in the storytime animation community, there's like, which is the community I am from, but like with the storytime animators, there's a point in time where they're just like, I'm gonna go ahead and show my face, and it's just like a big deal because like um because like creators like the fans are gonna be like, oh, now I'm gonna see who da 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 looks like now,
Mm.
and it's
I've
just like
seen that before when someone takes it off and everybody, people I don't know anything about it, but people are like, "Oh my gosh, did you see how cute he is, or what a idiot he is, or she is?" Yeah, I've seen that before. The little reveal thing. I just
yes.
didn't
Yeah.
know that's what they were doing.
Well,
I'm not
most
gonna
people
show my
do it
face,
after
but
they reach
yeah.
a certain goal. They use that as a prize when they reach a certain goal.
Yeah.
Well, I missed out. I
But
I could have
Yeah,
been faceless.
yeah, you did, buddy.
so have you ever heard of The Odd Ones Out?
Yeah.
Or,
Ah.
I'm basically a future version of him, or like no, my channel's basically like another one of his ish. Like I own it, yes, but I'm doing what he used to do, which is storytime
Oh.
animation. Um, the storytime animation community is not dead. It's just really hard for us right now because shorts are taking over everything.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So is your channel called wait a minute, let me get this. I'm looking at it. We're okay. So
I
are
use
you
the same
Rebellious
name for
Pastry on YouTube?
yes, I use the same name for everything.
Can I sub to you?
Of course.
Yay.
Ah, now I
course.
have a few more of my friends sub to her.
Of
Sub to-
course, become a Donut Batch member, which I personally like to call my base the Donut Batch because it just makes sense.
Is there different levels to this donut batch? Is there like there's the sprinkles level, there's the maple bar level?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Also, just so you know, if I were to do that, Maple Bar would probably be the top because Maple
Definitely.
Bar is
Everyone
my
loves a maple
favorite.
bar.
Maple Bar is my favorite.
Ah. Now we know.
But yeah.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
American hero. It's scary that we could probably sing that whole theme song and not miss a beat.
We probably could.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
There's some
How dare
people
you.
who are really into certain series, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad.
Oh, pastry, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to shock you with something.
Mm-hmm.
In the late 80s, early 90s, most boys joined the military because of G.I. Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey,
And then they learned
every member of G.I. Joe was from one specific branch of the Navy. They were the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, even Coast Guard.
that the bad guys could actually also hit their targets. Damn it. G.I. Joe
Yeah. Yep.
Let's just say boys are dumb sometimes.
Yeah. That's the big joke about that. It was that they could
That
only
was the
lay down
joke about
suppressive-
G.I. Joe and the Transformers.
they,
It
the bad
was
guys
a
could only,
funnier joke with the Transformers because you would expect robots to be a little more smarter.
except when the 86 movie rolled around, then the bad guys could hit everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I am now subbed.
Welcome.
But yeah, maybe when I do a Patreon in the future, maybe I should go ahead and have like my levels also be donut themed.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm mostly just trying to be a hobbyist that is way too much into their hobby. Sometimes, sometimes being most of the time. But I mean, like one day, hopefully, I'll be able to make some money. Cause
You might as well call yourself a comic geek and get it over with. Because you sound like the rest of us.
yeah,
We get
You might be headed
way
that way.
yeah. We get way too involved in our hobbies.
yeah.
It's weird because when I got back into comics back in 2019, I was actually going to get into animation, and I just remembered how much I love to draw still, still images. But my idea was I was going to go ahead and start doing cartoons like the old 60s Marvel cartoons that were really primitively animated and real basic.
And bad. It's so bad.
But yeah, and bad. I know. That was part of the draw. I was like, I'm going to be so campy, but then I started drawing them, and because they're mostly still images, I fell right back into doing comics again. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
you
this
ever
is what I
watched-
really love.
You look at, it was like Spider-Man and Friends, and they had
It'll
like
be
a
like
short.
it'll be like drawing the old Hanna-Barbera superheroes.
They had a
Well,
short
to answer
called-
Tim though, I'm talking even older. I mean the old like Captain
Are you
America.
Are you talking about the Captain America series from the late
Yes,
50s? I think it is.
yeah, it's horrid, but
I
it
know.
was
I
also
know the
very
one you're
easy to
talking
do.
about.
Have you seen the was it the Pride of the X-Men they did for the end of it was a short for Spider-Man and Friends?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
They had a
It was
Wolverine
supposed to start an X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
So they said.
When
They
It
had
didn't
they had
quite
a
work out that
Wolverine
way.
they had a Wolverine with an Australian accent instead of a Canadian accent.
Right.
Hey guys, do you guys know
Yeah.
the movie Shrek?
Yes.
Which one?
Did you? Oh, the first one. Oh, did you
Ah.
know that Shrek was originally an animation punishment?
No.
They pretty much sent all the animators that failed on the Prince of Egypt to Shrek to punish them.
Oh, okay.
So if you were bad at animation, you would get Shreked.
Also,
But
that's where
Shrek
that
was
came.
so good.
I've heard that term. But now I know why it exists.
Don't get Shreked, guys.
Yeah. But the Prince of Egypt was one of those films that are like, how did they possibly do this?
If you failed on it, then you got Shreked because
Yeah.
no one else wanted to work on it. But now look how famous Shrek is.
Well, you have to understand, the Prince of Egypt they were trying to live up to the Charlton Heston movie, The Ten Commandments,
Yeah.
which was very hard to do because they did that without any computer assistance.
Physical effect and some photographic effect, but no
Correct,
computer.
yeah. Shoot,
I
the
would've-
parting of the Red Sea was done with Vaseline.
Hey now,
Interesting.
let's not get personal.
No, I'm talking about somebody ran their finger through a swatch of Vaseline to make it look like the sea was parting. When you can pull that off practically, anything else is going to be subpar. We all know this.
I don't like you mentioning Vaseline and pulling off.
Well, on the Dave Chappelle show, they melted a candy bar to make it look like doo doo.
Oh.
They made several candy bars like that.
You guys are making me laugh.
First of
that,
all, too.
that, my friend, is why I'm on here.
Yeah, but now I have to put down my pencil for a minute. All right, I'll back out just for a minute and just look at my art and see where it's going because I haven't pulled back in a while. It's going good.
Longer.
Let's just
So I don't know.
say-
Tim, what do you think? Should this be a cover or a splash page?
Make it big again. Let me take a look at it.
Let's say it.
Come on.
So the top, I'm going from the bottom up, so obviously I have to finish the top.
Mhm.
But it's a vision that the fallen angel Bryce is receiving of all the people coming to attack him. So it's
Okay.
like a collage, but it might work better as a cover.
It does look good. I can imagine as a cover. You make the background yellow. That
Yeah.
definitely.
I
Oh
just
yeah.
realized I made it bigger, but not big.
Oh yeah, that would look better as a cover.
It's so much fun. This was just a good fun day for drawing.
Yeah.
The reason why it looks better as a cover is because it tells the story.
Right.
It gives you an idea of the story.
Yep.
It may end up being. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because like one of the things I'm trying to do, I want every page of my book to be good enough that I can throw it up online at any time and feel good about it.
Yeah.
That's my next step. Like I have a lot of great high points, but in my work, when I go back and look at it, I always find something that I go, oh, and that may never change, but I'm always striving to make fewer of those moments. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Wednesday night when we were reading, I kept looking at the guy's hand that I was making fun of, and I'm like, what was I thinking? The guy's got a broken index finger there.
Well, the thing is, you were trying to slip in a little bit of reality of consequence. That's
Well, it's
all that
funny.
is.
The more I
And
look at hands,
the
right?
thing, the thing is, reality of consequence is always going to be funny, no matter what you do.
True. But like people usually don't walk around with like Doctor Strange hands or weird configurations. And like we all draw
Well,
like
unless you explain why it
right.
is,
No, I mean
then
in real
yeah.
life. Like when I look at people's hands in photos, there's like 3 or 4 different poses and they hardly ever vary. And yet as an artist, if I'm drawing a hand, I want to have a lot of emotional tension in the every rib of the finger, and you know the joints have to be pronounced. And it's funny because like when I hold my hands in real life, I'm like, that's really not how people actually do stuff. I don't know why I keep drawing
Right.
like that. But it looks better when it's drawn dramatically.
As far as how I draw hands is I like to fit in with the simplified style I have. Like I don't draw hands with hoodies, but if I go ahead and have a character in a t-shirt, then I'll draw hands. So with my hands, I personally, since everything else of mine is super simple anyways, I tend to have like 3-finger hands instead of 4-finger hands.
Oh, you
So
go to the Looney Tunes method. Not bad.
some
It's a
but
lot easier.
it makes sense with the rest of the character though.
Yeah,
I
like I said,
have a
it's a lot
confession to make.
easier.
Yeah. But in my defense, I am a one-person animation channel that with like the history of the storytime animation community, like
Mhm.
do you remember how the Odd Ones Out videos used to be as far as quality goes?
Yeah.
Like they more emphasized on the scripts than the animation. And like they more emphasized on the story than the actual animation itself.
Mm.
Which like if you were to look at the Odd Ones Out's old videos, he didn't fully animate his videos. He sometimes used stock images to show some parts that he didn't animate.
Would you ever consider rotoscoping?
What does that
Mm.
mean?
It's where they would film people and then they would animate over the actors.
Yeah.
It was very popular. It was used with like He-Man
You
or
find rotoscoping in a lot of 80s cartoons.
Didn't
It
Disney
was
do it too back with like Snow White or something?
not quite.
yeah, they did with certain
It,
scenes.
but Filmation did it with He-Man, She-Ra, Brave Star, and a few others.
Oh yeah, I've heard of She-Ra and the Princess of Power.
No. We're not
Oh.
talking about the abomination from Netflix.
The abomination that would
That would
yeah, we don't.
that would make Hank Venture look real bad.
Was that one that was in Californian art style, or is that what they call it? It was like a real.
Cal
It
art
wasn't like
style.
the. Yeah, Cal.
Part of it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see much of that one. Just whatever was posted online. Mostly because that art style doesn't do anything for me. So I'm like,
I know. Same
I
here.
can't watch it if I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I
But most kids under the age of 6 like it.
and that's
I
okay
understand.
too. I mean,
Is it
that's
like
what it's
the-
for, right?
Was it like Steven
Well, the
Universe,
art
where they
style
didn't
is,
have
but
any
the cartoons that they use the
elbows?
style for usually isn't, because they
Right.
like to put things in it.
South
Yeah,
Park,
they think that,
South Park is also a really simple style,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for some reason they make it work.
but they make it work.
but did that start off?
South Park is all, South Park is all about the dialogue. It's not about the animation itself.
It's about the over-the-top humor too. I mean, that's what people
Right.
watch it for, you know.
Yeah, but they were
Mhm.
using initially, weren't they using construction paper dolls to make their animation?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
they were really unique in the beginning, and it really, even though it was primitive, it was a style that nobody else was doing at that time,
Mhm.
and
Well,
and
plus the-
for me that was cool.
Plus,
Yeah.
the gimmick was that Kenny died in every episode. So
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Kenny
Oh.
died about every 20 minutes.
Bastards!
Yeah.
They killed Kenny.
Fun fact. I'm actually from the same state as that TV show.
Oh,
don't give out too much
Wow.
information.
I don't know what state it. Oh, wait a minute, that's in Denver, Colorado, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
yeah.
It's in a random mountain town in Colorado.
It's in a random area in Colorado.
Completely
Going down to
random.
South Park, couldn't I have myself a time?
Fun fact:
Places
Tegrity
everywhere.
Farms is
I'm
not
folks
real.
About temptation.
I used to know that song the way it used to be, but now whenever I hear it, I think of Primus doing it.
Because Primus did it.
No,
He
but
did.
wasn't the first one? Did they do it even in the original?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought the original was just the kids, and then Primus did a version. But I'm probably
No,
wrong.
Primus did it, but they added the kids singing in it too.
Ah,
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, I say the state, and that's it. As far as where I'm from.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I wouldn't tell them what town you're in.
Yeah.
That gets weird if someone and people have that happen. Someone online gets fixated, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, I'm in your town." Oh,
Right.
great! Keep going.
Whatever.
Unless you live in New York, Los Angeles, or a city with over 2 million people, yeah, you can get away with it because it's going to be hard to find you.
Yeah, if you're like in Smallville, nowhere state, America, and
Right.
I just happen to be in town, that might be a concern.
Yeah. Especially if you live in the state of Wyoming,
Yeah.
where there's
Another-
less than 500,000 people.
Another random square state.
Yeah.
I'm in the popular square state. Known for a TV show, and I'm not sure what your rules on the other part is.
I really don't have rules unless it's like, don't show porn. We cuss sometimes, but like we're not intentional. Like some channels you get on and every other word has to be an F. We don't have to do that here, but
Yeah. So there's also known for grassy substance that people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
currently-
it's legal in Massachusetts now too.
Yeah. Some people know us as the drug state, which I don't do. Any of them.
I knew you as the drug state till it was legal in Massachusetts too. Then I was like, oh, it's getting around. I think there's like 23 states now that it's legal in.
Yeah.
We're getting other stuff legal too. Like
Oh boy.
currently, if you do with them in like a special place, we also have shrooms.
Now that's interesting. I remember shrooms like from 30, 40 years ago. I don't know that I would do one now.
Right.
Wow.
I personally would not mention that on my channel. That is why I asked
Gotcha.
about y'all's rules.
No. The only thing I know that would like get me in trouble if we were talking about it could be the COVID stuff. I
Yeah.
got in trouble once because we talked about whether or
Fun.
not vaccines were efficient during the heyday of COVID awareness and whatever, and I got in trouble for that. But we just I like having open conversation, and so like you saying that doesn't offend me, and you blocking or not having that topic on your channel doesn't bother me either. That's fine.
Yeah, I personally like to keep my channel good for all ages.
Right. Well, in some ways,
Because
like
Storytime Animation, it has been notorious for keeping it for all ages.
right. I feel you on that. I mean, to an extent, I try to do the same. But I often forget what all ages means to different people. Like I don't mind. I don't mind talking about drugs in front of kids because I think it's a reality as long as it's not like endorsing it. But
Right.
like,
Like,
I get your point too. If we're sitting here talking about how great I don't know cocaine is, yeah, that's not a good message to send to the
No,
kids.
that isn't.
I'd never, even in real life.
And besides, all ages is really vague nowadays.
Boy, isn't that the truth? That's one of the biggest problems that I think indie comics has right now, getting out to kids and families, because you might pick up one and it's cleaner than a bar of Ivory soap.
That's pretty clean.
Yeah, and pick up another and
Pretty
it
clean,
is,
and it also might be pretty dull too. So
yeah, well, it's full of like just fresh smelling stuff. That's all. Nothing exciting. It's not Irish Spring.
Yeah, some I feel like some people would probably age get my stuff no, age like stuff or age gate me to 18 plus just because I'm genderqueer.
Yeah, they
Which
might.
that'd be pretty dumb.
Well, right
But
now, with that whole subject, I think it's really tough right now with all the. It's eased up over the last couple of months, but with all the Florida grooming stuff, it was getting crazy there to where like nothing could be done around kids, and it's still tight now with the drag queen shows and stuff. But I think it's eased up at least since the election. It's going to get worse as soon as the next election comes, though. What's that?
Yeah.
A year and a half, the next presidential. Both sides will ramp it up again, and we'll see what happens. But it'll be crazy.
yikes. I'm gonna stay safe out there.
Good luck, my sister. Yeah, oh, sorry, they.
Sibling.
And for God's sakes, let's be careful out there.
Let's all right. Now this is going to be the only thing I'm gonna say about this, but like once you get
Go ahead,
used to
say it.
they, once you get used to they, he and she are hard to say.
Yeah, I could see that because a lot of it is just habit. You know what I mean?
It'd be like, oh right, oh they, oh I mean she. Sorry.
Well, and we use they for normal day situations all the time, like interchangeably with he and she. They comes in all the time. Like when you're talking about someone doing something, it's not uncommon to hear, yeah, Joe went down here, he did this, then he went over there, then they did this, that, and they will slip into it without anybody even thinking about it.
True.
Until somebody thinks about it. That's the only time they think about it. That sounds like it makes no sense, but
yeah.
It can be smooth as heck until they stop and go, wait a minute, what did I just say?
Till they think about it.
Yeah.
I've been like I've been like, oh whoops, you go by here. Oh right, you go by she. Whoops. Sorry. And most of the time it's like it's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
I don't mind if I'm misgendered pretty much because like I'm too old for that. Like that'll sound weird, but at 53, I've been called so many things. I'm like, whatever, like it used to be an insult if somebody said, you're just a bitch. That used to get me like, I'm not a girl. What are you? Now I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I am kind of a bitch. Don't get me started. I'll bitch you all day long.
Yeah.
But it's different as you get
You
older.
have to excuse my artboard.
Wait a minute,
The wooden board. No, the wooden board I was coloring against. My markers bled through.
Oh, snap. Oh, they did.
But yeah, Yeah,
I might
and
I
as far
might
as
keep it.
my channel goes, as
I
far
might
as my
keep it.
channel, as
Cool.
far as my
It
channel goes,
here's the original.
oh, sorry. As far as my
You making
channel goes,
another you're making another ash can?
This is the final design for the cover.
oh
Hey,
sorry.
pastry.
Hey, what?
I hear you, girl. I hear you. Try it again. Say it again before they talk.
Shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I heard you trying.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I just
Well, no, I
noticed
don't
that
think you're the one who could
Shinobi
hear.
Gar
That's
is like,
Okay,
what's so
okay,
ooh.
now
funny.
I got it. Now I got it. Now I got it. In my channel, they pretty much just pretty much treat me normally as if I was like yes, I'm a they, but that's not the main point of the channel. Whenever I go on anyone else's, it'd be like, "Oh, you're a they? Let's ask you a million and two questions about this and this and that."
I'm
No
sure I've
matter.
asked you too many
Oh, I was
myself
writing
today.
that million three. Do you mind if
I
it's a
know
million
I've
three?
slipped and called pastry she many times. But then again, I'm in the middle of a conversation and it's like it just comes out.
Yeah.
And she laughs at me about it.
How about a million and four? I got a million and four
See?
questions I just wrote down.
Sorry, I just have to I either laugh or cry about it, and I don't want to freaking cry.
Usually when you catch me doing it, you laugh at me because it just sounds funny.
It was funny watching Rick constantly have to correct himself.
Sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's irritating.
It
Yeah,
can
because
be.
you're on the end of it. That's why. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
And
why
I
when I can,
understand
I
that.
try to call you pastry at all times.
Pastry, rebellious, either way works.
Uh, I couldn't call you rebellious because
Pastry sounds more casual.
yeah. If I call you rebellious, I'm expecting you to do something really bad.
Now here's something funny. So as how I have rebellious pastry set up, pastry
Hmm.
technically has two last names. Pastry is considered a last name, and
Right.
animations is considered a
We could
last
always
name.
call you
But I
RP.
do not add the animations to my to my ti to my channel name because the channel name I currently have is even pushing it with
Mm.
length.
Well, you are a rebellious animator, so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Do you
I
mind if we
tend to
call you
go with
RP?
yeah, sure.
Hmm.
And
That
let
works.
people might get confused with roleplay though. That's my only complaints about that one.
Oh, damn it.
Mm.
But I'm not gonna say my real initials, but let's just say if people did that with
Keep
my real
keep
initials, it would
keep
be
your middle
bad.
name to yourself.
It'd be bad if they were to use my first initial and my middle initial together. It'd be
F
really bad.
you. No way.
Uh-uh.
It'd be like really bad.
Yeah, the first thing that came to mind was the letter F and the letter U.
Nope.
Oh, not that
those-
bad?
No, not that bad.
Okay, that's all right then. The first thing I thought of, I'm like, two letters. Oh no.
Hmm.
My name
Interesting,
is
but
Felicia Utarian.
But yeah,
interesting, but not important.
yeah,
Middle names are usually not important
yeah.
unless the two of you with the same first and last name. Then it becomes important.
Especially if you have to make emails for a bunch of kids, and that's how you got to differentiate
And
them.
most of them copy each other, and then they add numbers behind. You got to remember which number goes to which kid.
My first name, especially since I've modified it, is unique enough not to have that problem.
Okay,
But yeah, not gonna say it, but
don't.
yeah. I'm just saying that I don't have a common name.
Most people don't.
Not me.
Nowadays,
Mine's as common as they come.
Most people don't, with the exception of me, Tim, and Chris. Our names are pretty common.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
try to meet someone in public and somebody says, "Hey Tim," and you turn around and they're talking to another person named
Hey,
Oh wait,
Critical-
do you want to know something funny? So I call this is gonna be like kind of similar, kind of not, but like have you ever heard of like I call this the mom effect, but like whenever like a young kid says "Hey mom" in public, every mom will go ahead and like flinch,
yeah,
and I call it the mama reflex.
yeah,
Mhm.
yep. I think you're right.
The mom reflex. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
So before we go any
that
further, I
was
got to
the
say
Tim
hi to
effect.
RJ, who's in the chat. Critical Blast, if he's still there. What's up, bro? I haven't
Hello.
seen you in
Sorry
forever.
for me. Hello, chat. Sorry that I'm taking over the show. I guess.
It's fine. We just
It's
don't look
fine.
at the chat enough.
Yeah.
I never remember to look at it.
Yeah. So, do you want to know something funny? So
Go
like
ahead.
in Crossy's Tuesday nights, it's mostly me and I am the metal talking
Ah,
on Crossy's show.
Yes,
Yep,
and you decide to talk most of it. I've seen it, and I find it very funny.
How I just take over his show.
Yeah. It's funny because everyone who's ever seen any of Rick's streams knows that he's not very talkative. So it's like somebody comes in and just takes over and just talks while he can draw all he wants.
I was gonna say he's talkative on our stream.
No,
He's
that's
on
a,
our stream. It's hard to shut him up. It's like Rick, wait, Rick.
that's no,
I
no,
think it's
that's
because
the difference. The difference is it's not he's not in control of it, so he can do what he wants.
And he's not having to host and
Right.
draw and all that stuff. Yeah.
Right.
no wait. But
When you have
do
to
you want
host
to know?
and draw,
Want to know something? Interesting. Sorry, you continue.
Mhm.
You continue.
I think he's lost. You might as well go on, Pastry.
Okay.
I think
Do you
so.
want to know something funny? Do you know how so once I thought it'd be a really good idea to have less dead air, to have a King's Kid, which is mom or Mama Crossy is how I call her, but like my idea was to have Mama Crossy on air. Guess what ended up happening then? Even
What
more
happened?
dead air. Even more dead air.
She doesn't.
Really?
I know. She doesn't talk much. So-
No, they both didn't talk much. And I'm like,
Oh,
"Mama,
you had his mama on.
Yeah.
yes."
Yeah, she can be hard to get talking. She says hi and then disappears usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was so painful to go.
A
ahead
few
and
years
have,
ago, me and John used to try to. Every time she'd come into the room, we try to strike up a conversation with her to keep her in the rooms to talk.
Yeah. You mean John?
We
Dillard,
got a
right?
good 5 to 10 minutes, and then it was over.
You mean John Dillard, right?
Yeah, we
How
got
is
a good
that-
five.
how
We
have
got a
you
good
cut
5 to
it?
10 minutes out of it, but then nothing.
Hold on. What is your name again?
Well, we asked her everything she liked about what Rick was doing, and then tried to switch it over to things that she liked, just to keep her talking.
Yeah. Wait. What is she into? I don't
Well, she
really
didn't
know.
say.
God.
She really
likes
didn't
God.
say. She really didn't say. Well,
I can tell you, like, if,
she was proud of her son. That was the main thing that we got out of her.
well, the one thing I've gotten out of her in every like time we've talked to her somewhat solo is
Mhm.
she's very religious or faithful. I don't know if religious is the right word. And
Well,
yeah, she
faithful would be-
loves Rick. What's that?
Faithful would be the word I'd use.
Right, and she loves her son,
Yeah,
and she's a good woman.
that she is.
Yeah, she's a good mama. I like her. I've met my share of bad mamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll make an
We
appearance now
we
and
try
then.
to get her to stay on because she
Also in
makes
the
most of us
background.
laugh.
Yeah. I think that's why Crossy hasn't kicked me off of his show yet. I've joked to Crossy
Mhm.
like, "Are you gonna kick me off?" I
I don't know. You're
I
quite likable.
yeah, I like to make those jokes with him because I'm like, I don't have a gender. Are you gonna kick me off now?
The way I see it is, the way I see it
You
is,
rub
you're a
that you
weirdo,
rub that
we're
one in
all
his
weirdos.
face.
So it
He's
it'll
sort of
work.
become immune to that one, pastry.
But I mean, like,
I know you try to get a reaction out of him, but it's like certain things he's grown immune to.
especially having me on there. Like,
And the
I'm.
gender question is one of those things.
um,
No, like I said, the way I see it is like I mean, dang, there I go again. Pastry is a weirdo, but then again, we're all weirdos in our own little way, so
Hmm.
it works.
Like I
yeah.
said, there is no one
Caught
definition of
myself.
weird. There is no one definition of weird. We all know this.
Yes,
Yeah.
we know.
I honestly feel like the entire artist community is just like weird. I honestly feel like there's two types of cartoonists out there. There's your weird ones and your quiet ones.
Mhm.
There's like I've never met a cartoonist that was normal and loud.
And you probably never will. At least not in
Yes.
this or your next lifetime.
Or yeah. I swear, cartoonists are not normal.
Well, like you guys, cartoonists have to like keep everything looking the same all the time, perfectly, move it around, animate it, and yeah, there's software and techniques and all that stuff,
Hmm.
but animation can be tedious. Every
Wait,
time I've tried to do anything in animation, I get bored.
so you're saying we drive ourselves crazy.
Yes, essentially.
Oh, wait, no. Now, here's the question I'd like to ask people. Are crazy people animators or do animation make us crazy?
Oh, well, I would assume animation
Listen
helps a
first.
lot, but you have to be a little crazy to think that might be
You
something you
have
want to
to be
do.
a little on the insane side to go into animation,
Yeah,
especially if you're going into cell animation.
yeah, I think you'd
I've
be
tried that
freaking rich.
once. I've tried that once.
Is cell frame by frame or
Yeah, well, and it's plastic drawing over plastic, right?
Well, it starts out on paper, then plastic cells, and what the deal is, you have to draw the same thing in at least 27 to 30 different positions, depending
Yeah,
on
because
how many elements are moving.
and what are they using? It could vary like cartoon to cartoon if they're doing 14 frames a second, 24 frames a second, or more.
It
The current
depends on
standards
the
are
length of the film,
yep.
really, because a
look,
standard 22-minute cartoon is filmed at 24 frames a second.
Right. Yeah. The 14 I mentioned came from the days like the 2000s when they were using Flash to animate
Hmm.
everything,
Yeah.
and
Flash is
that was like the
horrible.
target. What's
Hmm.
Flash
that?
is horrible. Flash is
Yeah, it was.
horrible. It still is.
It still is the
Yeah.
target,
It still is
but if you
horrible.
had to draw each cell by hand, is I can tell you about the hand cramps that are going to come after that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
you know what? They have other and better animation softwares now. So
Yeah,
you can animate with your Adobe Crash all you want, but there's
right.
better things out there.
Yeah. No, I
There's
don't.
always
I don't use Adobe Flash at all. But I remember when I tried it years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of shit."
I
there's a
I
program called Rough Animator that I use, which you can find on any Android device.
so so as far as like what I use is I use Moho which is not like it's not considered industry grade, but it seriously should be considered
Mm.
industry grade. I actually have a video about how hard I failed using Adobe Crash. I'm trying to find it so I can. It's a really old video, and it
Mm.
uses a old puppet that I don't use anymore, which my animation is better since then. But as I said before, Storytime animators focus more on the script than the animation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just like how I feel about my old videos is that, like, yes, the video is yes, the video is out of date, but not the content.
Mm.
No, not the story. The animation is outdated, but not the story. And do I have a wrench on it? I definitely don't have a wrench on this channel. Can someone with a wrench on this channel post this video in the chat real quick?
Hang on, post something in there. I'll give you a wrench.
Post something in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't see you. That's why you don't
I
have a
don't
wrench.
know what your rules are as far as like wrenching people goes, but
I'm pretty
like-
liberal with it as long as you're not putting porn up there. I'm pretty cool. I know that sounds strange, but that's like my stipulation, you know. Actually, I hope that sounds strange. I hope I haven't gotten weird.
Yeah, and then like as you get into my channel and watch my stuff, you're gonna learn more and more that I'm not gonna be the type to draw porn.
Cool. All right,
Cool.
let's see. How do I do this? Add moderator. That should do it, right?
Yep.
Yep, you're wrenched, girl. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
All
I'm
right.
working on that.
There
That
we
girl
go.
thing came from like years of being raised by women.
Have you ever
I'm
called
serious.
Have you ever called a man girl before?
Actually, you're gonna laugh, but I have. When I was working in Florida, and I worked with this gay guy, and he was a flamer, but we were really good friends. So like he would get in this like mode. We used to work in a fast food place, and I'd be like, "You go, girl," and he'd be like, "You know it, boy," and we would play back and forth.
Because
I
some
find that-
people use because
I
this is
find
like
most girls get offended if you call them dude.
I've called everyone man, and I haven't had anything. Just be like, hey
No,
man, how are you?
the thing is, when guys start calling girls dude, it's like they do it because they're usually hanging around with a lot of dudes doing the same thing. Dude,
My
you do
hardest
it like
one
this.
is bro. I tend to use bro too much when I get excited. So like if I'm at a
Same.
concert walking through a crowd, everybody becomes bro, male,
Yeah, exactly.
female, pronoun,
Does-
no matter what they are. Excuse me,
No
bro.
matter.
I gotta go pee, bro.
Bro. Yeah, I'm honestly fine with
Excuse me, dude.
any
Keep
bro,
right on stepping.
any bro stuff. Just bro, dude, whatever. Like, and it's interesting how more of the masculine terms for stuff
Kind of
have
stick to
kind
everything.
of- yes. It'd be like, hey brother,
Yeah.
It's
or if
fixed.
you're talking to a
But it's
bae,
almost never hey sister. Yeah,
No.
you're right.
you gross.
For some reason, it just sounds better to do it.
Yeah, like those things I don't have problems with because it's like, oh, everyone calls everyone bro now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still like I'm very 20th century in a lot of ways. And like I'm still learning a lot of things, even though it's been around for years. Mostly
know.
because of my resistance. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've been resistant to every social change since I turned 35 years old, maybe. Because it all started getting really strange to me. Maybe not strange to other people, but I was like, yeah, this is weird. And I'm raising a kid. I was actually a single father for like 13 years.
Mm.
And I didn't have a clue, and the world going crazy made me like get crazier. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Understandable.
I screwed up so much with him that like he was 6 years old and knew Santa was fake, and Oh, I couldn't take him to church because I love God, but I will be the first one to pick out a church's flaws. And of course, all churches are flawed, so that's a bad mistake.
We know this.
And so, I
We
mean,
know
jumping
this,
in,
but we're
you
supposed
bring
to
the
keep it
kid,
to ourselves.
but I mean, you bring the kid to church, and then you're driving home, and you're like, and the pastor was wrong about this and this and that, and it's like, well, no wonder he hates church now. He grew up with me
Yeah.
being stupid.
Yeah, but with I'm not gonna say what religion I am, but like but I feel like a lot of people tend to go ahead and like refute against church if it was like forced upon them too much. Just be like,
Well,
oh, I've been so much to church as a child. Yeah, that I feel like that's just like mentality some people have.
that
Yeah.
actually is what happened with me in my relationship with Christian churches. But then I
Mhm.
discovered Messianics, and I found a rabbi who is so cool that, like, whether I show up or not, whether I paid a tithe or not, whatever it is, he doesn't care. It's all just mellow.
I've
It's
never
chill.
been forced to go to church ever. I've never heard of a church forcing anybody to go or guilt
No,
anybody.
but when I was a
But
kid, I
here's
used
the
to get
thing.
forced.
Parents.
Yeah.
Well, usually parents, that's how they raise them, and then like most of them, either when they leave home or they get older, they just stop going if they didn't choose it for themselves.
Well, like, I can tell you, I don't think this is the norm, but like with my mom, we used to get sent to church, and she would stay home and party like until 1 in the afternoon when we got back. And I don't mean she was, shooting drugs or anything, but when I say party, I mean she was having a good old time to herself. And I was on a bus going out to a church 20 minutes away and spending all day there. Thanks, Mom.
Well, usually it's because
Well,
I started going
this
to
was
church
her
because my
time to
grandmother went to
herself.
church,
That's all.
and
Um,
I'd spend the
simple.
weekend with.
These days, if anyone ever wants me to shut the fuck up, just go ahead and let me go to my studio, and I'll be one of the quietest people ever, unless I'm streaming.
So anyway, growing up, I went to church because my grandmother went to church, but I'd spend the weekend with my grandparents, and then they'd go to church, and right after church, they dropped me off home. At home, it was just up the hill.
That was me. But yeah, the closest I'll say to like my religion is I don't go to church. And I'm gonna also say this: most churches would kick me out.
Well, that might be true because churches.
Yeah.
It all depends on the church, but I've been to a few where, there's some churches I would not tell some people not to go to. No, you want to go visit the other one down the street there if you're going to church, please, for your own safety and not that people get hurt in bad churches or whatever, but not physically at least. Emotionally it can be really bad in the wrong place.
I've never seen anybody get kicked out of a church.
I have, but it's been weird stuff, and I'm not even sure whether or not they didn't deserve to be thrown out. Like it was all personal issues, not just a person coming in with blue hair that freaked him out, but like deacons gone mad and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or technically, I guess I technically threw myself out, but still.
Well, that doesn't count the same way.
No, it doesn't.
But I understand, like, you probably felt so oppressed you had to get out of there.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the messianic deal with me, like, the reason it got me is because he being the rabbi I'm talking about, doesn't make you feel condemned per se for who you are. What he will do is he'll tell you the truth about what what the scriptures say, and he'll outline it in a way that is easy to understand, but he somehow like never makes you feel condemned. You can be a thieving adulterer, murderer, and when he talks to you, it's not about you being a thieving adultering murderer. Somehow it becomes all about repentance in Christ and love, and it's weird to hear him do it, and I've seen him do it and I've experienced it, But
Mhm.
like he can sit there and you totally know he knows that you're a sinner, whatever it is,
Right.
and like there's just no issue. He's like, yeah, that's that's between you and God, and this and that, and he'll, I don't know, he's just chill. He's totally chill. So the reason I mention that though is I didn't feel that in most of the churches that I grew up with. There were good pastors and stuff, but they would move on, and then I'd end up with some weirdo or something. Like I'm like I can't do this. I got to find a new church. And after a while, I stopped looking because it was just I was probably the problem because I would always go to the church and have an issue and have to complain about it, and then
Mm.
poison the well, and then I have to leave.
Yeah.
But I'm 53 now. I've learned a lot.
Well, we've all learned a lot, though.
No, but I mean, like, so I don't mess with churches in a way like that.
Right.
I won't go if I know what they're about and it's going to stir me wrong
Mhm.
because it's not for me. It's for whoever's there. It's not a
Exactly.
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, with me it's like, do I want to go to church or do I want time to make videos?
The thing that church does for a lot of people, and maybe you already have a device for this, but make sure that like you don't become too locked in by yourself because church can be
Yeah.
a great socialization thing. And like you don't deserve to be lonely. You're a beautiful person. You're nice.
Yeah,
So like always make sure you have some friends in the real world.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just don't get too reclusive. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Because it can be mentally, it can really drag you down, depression and stuff. And I think
Um,
church serves as like a helper for a lot of people in that way. It's where they go to socialize.
Pretty much the only thing that have dragged me down was COVID, but honestly, like, it was when everyone had to stay home.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I never got to stay home except for when I actually got COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris had to actually get COVID in order to stay home.
hey,
Yeah,
you want to know? You want to know something? You want to know what I did during COVID pandemic?
sure.
What?
Learn how to animate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like
Right.
a good deal.
I feel like out of everyone, I feel like I out of everyone in existence, I was like the tiny percentage that actually got their New Year's resolution accomplished in 2020
Because that was your resolution to become an animator.
to learn how to animate. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, COVID for me was just I didn't want to get vaccinated. I got the COVID.
Let's go ahead
Still
and
didn't.
keep the vaccine out of the chat or out of the panel just because like I don't want to go ahead and have that argument on someone else's channel.
Well,
I
the thing is, I didn't end up getting vaxxed.
Did or didn't?
Did.
You did.
And it was
I think you
actually
had
out
to
of.
because of your job, wasn't it?
Well, they didn't make me. What happened was my coworker, for like 3 weeks, every time I saw him, little jerk would look at me and say, "You're going to kill my mother. She's visiting from Mexico, and you're not vaccinated. So you're going to give it to me, and I'm going to give it to her, and she's going to die." And I really like this
Oh.
guy, so I went ahead and did it. I do live with regret about it, but I am vaxxed, so it's something I just have to live with and hope that like my paranoia isn't justified because I do worry about side effects and all that stuff.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I said, what's that?
I said, you know, it's funny. It's if I heard that, I'd become a smart ass because it sounds like a plan.
Yeah, well,
Now,
I couldn't joke with him because he loves his mom. I was like, "Oh, bro, man, I'm not gonna kill you." No, you don't understand the science, Chris. You're gonna kill her. So
now, now, my stance is, my parents are medical professionals, and if they're taking it and having me taking it, if I die, you also die.
right. So do you have a medical family?
Yes.
That's cool. Everybody in my family was like blue collar. So
Mm.
we had both spectrums on it. You know, one side was like all the way for the vax, and the other side was all the way against it. It actually hasn't been this polarized in my family for a long time. COVID did
It's
a
funny
lot of
though.
damage.
People made it sound like if you got it, you'd never get it, and then they turn and go, "Oh, but it won't prevent you from getting it." It's like, well, you didn't say that before. You basically lied to us.
Yeah, the flag posts have
Yeah.
been moved quite, or the goalposts have been moved a bit. I just pray now at this point that it, like my fear was that it was population control, and I'm just
Hmm.
praying it wasn't, like, because that would just be
And then
wrong, you know.
it turns out that they didn't really need to shut anything down, and then all they want us to like totally forget that they said that. Oh, well, we didn't know. We
Yeah,
didn't
there's a
know.
lot of that going on, but at
It's like
some
nothing.
point things have got to get back to normal, I hope. Although they're saying there's another insurgence. Like, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's a little liberal like, and I know there's been talk about reinstituting masks again and stuff.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no, 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 no,
they
No.
know it's not.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, I didn't like the masks
If
either.
no, now here's the thing. I was fine with wearing masks during 2020. I was fine with the thing that got me annoyed about having to wear the masks again is the fact that there was a second outbreak because like I did everything I needed to do not to have a second outbreak, and yet second outbreak
About to be
is
right back.
happening. So I'm just like, I ain't gonna do anything, or like I was just like, I got everything I needed to, and yet there's
Yeah.
still COVID. So I'm so sick of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really hard on everybody, the society and stuff.
Did you see how the Aussies took care of it when they got sick and tired of their strict measures? They basically just ganged up on the police and forced their way out to the outside.
I didn't see that, but
They had
yeah, I
like
can see
one
that happening.
where people were marching. They were on the street. They weren't marching, but they were all like, and they tried to block them somewhere, and they basically just pushed their way through because they were. I mean, it was just it's like they were outnumbered.
Yep.
I wish I could find that video, but
I think I know what you're talking about, actually. Um, it's something similar happened in China, not as successful as it was in Australia, but China's starting to do some stuff pushback too, because they were supposedly, they say they were in lockdown for weeks and months, and you know they weren't getting the same kind of help that we got, I guess, you know, from the government. And they had like 11 or 10 or 11 people die in a fire because they were actually like locked in their doors by screws and stuff. They're, you know, the government had literally bolted them into buildings, and that caused like a huge riot in that district or something, kind of like Hunger Games. It's just weird. They don't have it like we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just sorry. I'm just so emotionally tired from the talk of COVID.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
It's fine.
I'm a chatterbox. Like, almost anything we can talk about, and like it's just okay, cool.
Yeah. I honestly feel like it's like one of those things where like it feels like it's overly chewed gum that we've been chewing for 3 years.
No doubt, right?
Like it just like, you know, the feeling of when you know that you chewed on a piece of gum too long, but yet you still decide to chew it for some reason.
Yeah, you're hoping that the sugar flavor will come back, and it never
Yes.
does. It never does.
That's how speaking
COVID
about
feels.
COVID feels.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be nice about it, which I think it's being successful.
About COVID or about talking about it?
Talking about it.
Yeah, well, the thing about COVID here is like, yeah, we'll talk about it for 3-4 minutes, but nobody here is obsessed. It's like once we get whatever our point was, we're like, okay, what else are we going to talk about now? Because
yeah,
we don't have any, like, the cool thing about all our friends that come in here is nobody's really got an agenda, and the few people that have don't last very long. Like, we used to have a guy that came in, I can't even remember his name now, but every time he came in, he wanted to talk about some rebellion down in South America and how the CIA was into it. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what you're talking about. And like, he was into NITs and NFTs
and NFTs
and
like,
and
no
crypto
one's-
coin and all these conspiracies, and I'm
Donald.
like,
I'm against NFTs too.
yeah. Well, I'm like, great, they made money, but like, I'm not interested in doing it. I want to make comics, not NFTs.
Same. Same but with animation.
Yeah,
But
it's just
yeah.
it's not my gig. I look at it, I'm like, good luck. I hope you made a ton. I just can't be bothered. Like Smiller, Mike S. Miller, got into that heavy, and I had heard a lot of talk behind the scenes. Well, we all should do that. That's an opportunity. By the time I would have gotten into it, and it's already kind of dead now. I mean, it's definitely much deader than it used to be. It would have been too late. You had to be ahead of the wave, and you had to put a lot of time and energy into it. I did neither. So, hey, look
Yeah,
at Terry's got a triangle up.
I'm gonna go look.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen a triangle in a long time because I'm all digital.
I have never used a triangle before. And no one's in the chat.
They're cool
Our
with a T
chat-
square.
That
What's that?
chat- The chat is so dead.
Yeah, our chat usually is because we forget they're there. So
Yeah. Most
I'm a horrible streamer. I basically stream so that I can keep in touch with my friends. We could
Yeah,
probably do it on FaceTime too, but
So
that's why
here's the
this year
thing.
we're working harder at it.
Whenever, like, for me, whenever I do a show, it tends to be like, I tend to be like, if you play our game with us or ask us questions in our interview show, if you play the game with us, then we'll read your chat. If you're not playing the game and chatting, I'll still mod your chat, but I'm not going to read it out loud.
Right. No,
So
I
you're
wish
participating with what the stream is, yeah.
I wish
But,
people coming in who want to talk would just join the StreamYard, but I don't know. Like it's difficult for some people to do that. They don't like it.
Yeah, some people don't want to be on air. Some people are like having their like earbuds in during a
Or what
family
happened last
gathering and
time? Two people
Yeah.
hopped on.
not wanting, like, someone who doesn't want to go ahead and listen to whatever, like uncles talking to like about some random thing, and then I just be like, no, I don't want to listen to my dumb uncle. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop my earbuds in quickly and talk to this random streamer instead, basically.
Right. Well, we just try to have fun. I used to do pretty well on YouTube when I was doing religious videos, and then I realized like I wasn't like some sort of religious guru, so I just kind of stopped. But like for a while there, I was getting into all these stupid religious arguments, and it was like, why? I'm not even sure what I'm talking about is theologically correct. I just have opinion,
Yeah, I'm one of those people who people tend to like to go ahead and like people tend to try and sometimes get into arguments with me on stream. And I'm like, I'm just trying to exist.
Well, like it's not worth trying to start a fight with you, like with anybody. But
Yeah.
if somebody wants to fight and they come at you, that's one thing. Like it for me, but like yeah, I wouldn't try to start a fight with you.
Yeah.
That's just
Like
why,
like
what would that solve? I don't even know you. That would be so bad.
mm, and the fact that literally everyone but you knew me and your panel. Like when you're like, can somebody please vouch for them? And then everyone except for you is like, hey, I know this person.
Yep.
They're on Cross's stream.
I was so happy to hear that too, because like you saw the weirdo that came in afterwards. We get those probably once or twice a month. And like I'm like, oh, please don't be one of those people. And rebellious pastry, I'm like, oh, rebellious. What does that mean exactly? What are you rebelling against?
Oh, it's actually an inside joke about my dog.
Very cool.
As I say in my channel trailer, which I did a skit, which is kind of out of what I normally do, but it just would make sense for me to go ahead and do a skit so that people can go ahead and understand what I do, and also not have to go ahead and like sacrifice putting my personality in.
Right.
So I ended up doing like a skit, like one of my friends pretending to be a news reporter, basically asking me about what I do on the channel, and then it ends up being like the news reporter ends up losing his mind and is just like, news company, fire me at the end.
Did they fire him?
No, the thing is that like he didn't actually or shoot. They actually go by they, but they don't go by they on the channel, so it's just like what to refer to him as. I don't even
Right.
know. Like he's out to me, but he's not out to YouTube, so I sometimes have to dead pronoun them.
Gotcha.
And it's just like, oh, I don't know how to refer to you when I am somewhere that's not my channel and not yours.
Well, you did a good job for now.
But yeah.
No
Anyway.
worries.
Anyway, so like it ended up just being a skit. Like he wasn't actually a part of a news company. I was just like, it was just a part of the skit to go ahead and have him be just pretending to be a part of a news company, you know, like
So the
it's
whole
like
thing
a
at the
skit.
end wasn't you don't get to find out if he was fired or not. That was like the final joke, right?
Yes, like news company, fire me.
See, I'm Asperger, so I'm like, was he fired? Was he fired? What?
I have to know if
for
he was
that-
fired. Damn it!
For that, it's all just headcanon. You know what headcanon
Okay, then
means, right?
that poor guy got fired, and then he jumped off a bridge, and it was horrible.
We don't normally on my channel we tend to steer clear from like those types of jokes, like jump off the like threatening to jump off a bridge, because we keep in mind how like most people from my base could possibly be suicidal actively. So
See, I never even think about that stuff. Never. Like, and I'm not trying to be mean,
but then
but
again, whenever you have like a base, like your I'm gonna just say the donut batch, like the donut batch, like what tends to be a part of the donut batch is a combination of people who I meet on in Cross's base, and people who I meet from different bases, and also people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community. And within that community, people are more at risk of seriously hurting themselves because of just like how the society treats us. So that's why I think that way.
yeah. See, in my it's really different. Like when I was growing up, like this will sound cold hearted, but if somebody was like suicidal, they were like, well, go outside, don't do it in here. Like it was such a different approach. So like it's almost like an ingrained insensitivity. Do you know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
taken so differently. And religion would take it like, oh, well, you're going to burn in hell if you kill yourself. I never really bought into that shit, but there was like a whole different mindset when I was a kid, where like you guys are so conscious of it now. Like I never would have thought of that without you mentioning it. I'm like, what do you mean you don't joke like that? Like to me, that's just wow. Okay. And it shouldn't feel new to me, but it does, only because I don't actually know people like you that much. You know what I'm
Usually,
saying?
people that are severely, suicidal, like eventually, hopefully they don't, but like that Kurt Cobain guy, eventually, he was eventually going to do it, and unfortunately, he didn't have people to help him.
Yeah. And it's just like I just want to keep that in mind, because it's just like I don't want to be the channel, or like the channel that ends up being like makes a one bad joke and ends up being the cause of something like that to happen.
Mm.
Well, see now, so like I don't want to
Like,
get too deep on this, but I would
yes.
never blame myself for a joke. If somebody did something after a joke that I said, I'd be like, well, that's not my fault. That's whatever they were going through. Because I would never think that a joke would be capable of that.
But
No.
yeah, it's just like and I want to go ahead and touch back on the base thing. Um like y- like yes, creators are like creators have some control of who's in their base, but in general, like sometimes with how your base is, creators gotta go ahead and just pretty much just like understand the kind of base they have, and your base is different than mine,
Right.
even if some of your base
Well, I
comes
mean,
over to mine.
my take on it is like, you shouldn't. You're not responsible for what someone else does. If somebody else
but
does.
but
Like,
the thing is that
should
I
the
would never
should the
do that.
Beatles be held responsible for Charles Manson? Because he claimed he got ideas and messages from one of their songs.
Yeah, but the thing is that
Yeah.
I personally could never make jokes like that, just because of my experiences, which I don't
I
want to
get it.
get too
I
deep
get it.
in. But it's just like one of those, like, I don't want to do it just because like if I were to all of a sudden start making jokes like that, I would get retaliation from the base,
Right. Because
because
they already have expectations of you. I get it.
I'm the type of person that's like, please take all mental health seriously. Like,
Oh
that's
my.
just like one of the
Have you ever had to deal with mental health experts? And I
mhm.
don't mean to get too personal, but the reason I ask is because of my experience with them. That's kind of why I don't take mental health too seriously. They I wouldn't say I was abused, but I had a brother die when I was 7 years old, and literally I feel like I was tortured by psychologists and shrinks for like 8 years over that death, and like it totally scorned me against mental health. You wouldn't even believe, to the point where like at one point in my marriage I was having difficulties and I was refusing to go see the marriage counselor my wife wanted me to see, because I was like, no, they have like a psychological degree. They're a shrink. I don't want to see a shrink. It was that much of a deterrent. And when I finally met the lady, it was all right. It wasn't anything that I thought it was, but I was convinced that she was gonna sabotage my marriage and it was gonna be all my fault. And that's what a shrink did. They messed with you.
Yeah,
Heck, I'm
and
calling him a shrink. I bet you probably don't even do that, right?
no.
Because it's like disrespectful. I just realized that I'm calling like a professional medical person a shrink, but
Yeah, but the thing is that
They
when you
shrink
think
the
about
animals.
how different if you think about how different faces are, like different creators are different. And that means that like different bases also um takes things differently. Like, think about just like there's more than one way to run a channel too.
right, right,
Like how I run mine isn't like how I run you, or like how you run yours, or anything like
right.
that.
No, I know what you mean.
Right. Right.
Because it's just like I tend to be more like aware of different things in general. It's just like I tend like I don't think you're the type to go ahead and um I don't know where to even start with this. But I tend to take like I've do you know who Logan and Jake Paul are?
Yeah, yeah.
I've literally bashed them on my own channel before because they are mistreating their fans, and I'm like, just basically emphasize how like fan mistreatment is, how much fan mistreatment pisses me off.
Right. I'm not too familiar. I know, didn't one of them just go through a big thing where they were making like a crypto game and ended up ripping off people of millions of dollars or something? I think it was one of them.
I don't really keep in line with them either, but it's just like I tend to um be like I tend to be like this. Like I have seen all the crazy stuff they've done to their fans, and I'm like, I'm definitely not like them one bit. Like
Right.
like honestly, I just refuse to go ahead and like I tend to go ahead and call people out. If I were to ever see fan mistreatment, I would call them out for it.
Yeah,
And
I do
just be
some of
like,
that, but
fan
I don't know
mistreatment.
what level I take it to. I've done some calling out here and there.
Like you're mistreating your fans. Just like your fans are there to your fans are literally taking time out of their day to watch you, and yet you're treating them like crap.
Right. There's some of that in indie comics.
Well,
Some
I,
guys
I,
that
I
are
pointed
so,
out the hypocrisy in that. Remember when we were that one year, everybody was complaining about how the pros were treating fans and all that,
yeah.
and
I
now
do remember that. Yeah.
we thrive on drama and stuff, just to get views.
And that's not how YouTube should be.
Well, it's funny because it's like casual sex. It's a lot of fun at first, and then there's a lot of regret. Um, like you end up, not knowing if you caught anything for a long time. You got to go get tested. Your heart might be broken, and if it's not, it might get jaded. Like it's a very risky thing. So drama on YouTube, you get that like adrenaline rush, and maybe you get some hits, maybe you get some likes or whatever. But eventually, that whole rush will die, and then it's like, oh no, what have I done?
and and you see how I act now just based off of this stream, but like I tend to go ahead and like no matter whose show I'm on, I tend to be respectful for the most part. Sometimes I sometimes joke around with Crossy like, "Hey, you have dead air. Stop having so much dead air." But I would never
Right?
tell Crossy to jump off a bridge.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't tell anybody to jump off sincerely, but like admittedly, if you weren't around, I wouldn't even think about it as a joke. I'd be like, "Oh, it's a joke." But
Yeah.
like I would never tell anybody to go kill themselves in any like intentional way. Like, and if I was in a conversation with somebody, it wouldn't be something to joke about if I thought it was like going to be construed as a serious. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't want anybody to die or kill themselves. But I also, on the other hand, if I was cracking a joke about something, I wouldn't think about like it never occurs to me what the other person thinks about what I'm saying. I'm like, because it's just kind of how I take stuff.
Like
Like some.
I tend to make pretty rough jokes sometimes, but even I have bounds. Like my bounds are different than yours, but like
Yeah.
my biggest bound is just anything involving suicide.
Well, I think it also depends on how you grow up too. I mean, most of my friends were dudes, and it was all about like who could talk the most trash.
I've talked trash about people before as a joke,
Uh,
but it's not like even that has limits with me.
Well, the 80s and 90s would have totally. Well, maybe you already know, but it was crazy. Like, it was not uncommon to call, to say somebody was being a Jew if they weren't spending their money. It wasn't uncommon to drop.
I don't know. I never heard that.
Oh yeah, in
No,
Massachusetts that
no.
was huge.
But y'all are
in-
Massachusetts.
yeah, Massachusetts.
I feel like you're saying it wrong, huh? I have the same problem.
It's not a great name, that's for sure. I don't know where they got it from.
No, I grew up in Washington State. I was born and raised Washington State, but I think I only got my best friend mad once, and he smashed an apple upside my head. We were mad
Well,
at each other for like
when I
5
say
seconds, and then it was over.
Massachusetts, I think like I was a generation or so before.
Right.
Well, I'm 53, so like it was weird, but we were coming out of a lot of stuff like socially, but I was still tied to a lot of I was still presented with a very white conservative society compared to today, So like my reaction to things is really different because of the things that I grew up with. Like my instincts are different, just like yours are tuned to whatever is going on in your generation. Mine was just different. I don't know.
And the
I
thing
think we
is
were,
that like the generational gap, it's just like I feel like there's definitely more problems with like people not wanting to live, but it's honestly like it but think about this. Like yes, we now have computers and yes, we now have all this information going at us, but think about this. When you grew up, you didn't know what happened on the other side of the world, did you?
oh hell no. You know what's funny? We used
Oh,
to
we
love
do.
Encyclopedia Britannica. So you would love things on the other side of the world, but everything you were reading was at least a year old and likely 4 to 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
We look it up and we know, it's like, oh, there's protests in Iran this week. We
But
wouldn't know
like
about that.
all of this information is like overwhelming people's brains, and it's just like when you guys grew up, I'm sure you didn't hear about all the information. Like the human brain is only designed to go ahead and process so much. Sorry, I'm getting all serious here, but like that's how the wind is blowing right now. You can
Well,
change
you
the direction
say
of the wind if
that,
you want.
but I think it's gonna. You'll see that like it'll vary person to person. So like I don't know that it's any different than it used to be. It's just, well, I guess it is because yeah, they can get triggered on things that are happening worldwide. Like the Ukraine's a great example. This country got on fire for the Ukraine, but you're right. Like in the 70s, the same kind of buildup would have taken years to accomplish. As far as public support,
Yeah.
and by that time it would have been over.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like one of those generational things. I just like and just remember there's no one way to run a channel, so
Yeah, no, that's
um
true.
so
But there
like
are successful ways and unsuccessful.
but
And
yeah,
I'm good
it
at the latter.
also think about like demographics um nothing against the donut batch, but the donut batch tends to be a riskier population than your base.
Right.
Like they tend to be emotionally riskier demographic than yours.
Well,
So
thankfully, my demographic really is just like Terry, Tim, and Rick.
Crossy is actually very outside of my demographic range. Like he's literally the exact opposite of what I would have originally looked for. But yet he's still in my base. He is actually
He's
a
a
friend of
special
mine.
guy. We love Rick.
But yeah, so I tend to go ahead and treat things with care. And you even see this now, even as like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
talk
No, I never
the same
doubted that
way.
about you. I just, when you first came in, I just didn't know who you were. So I'm like, okay, somebody know this person, please.
I'm still chuckling at how like everyone on the panel knew me except for you.
Yeah, that was cool.
That
Well,
was
my
funny
problem
too.
is I don't get online a lot to actually do this stuff. I keep saying I'm going to start streaming more, but I end up like just sitting at my table drawing, and like I can be streaming while I draw, but I forget and I just get locked into it. Like I was drawing for like since like 3 or 4 this morning, and just I should have been streaming the whole time the way that Rick talks, but like I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I could have been streaming, but oh well, I forgot.
Yeah, and the fact that I call him Crossy, it was originally to rattle his cage, but it now stuck. So
Yeah, I've never heard anybody call him Crossy. I thought that was kind of funny.
I originally did it to like rattle his cage, but it stuck.
Did it rattle him?
No, not really. I just it was just one of those things like it was like a haha.
Well,
The first time I heard Pastry call him that, I thought it was real funny. I thought you were trying to get under his skin when I first heard it.
Oh yeah. that was the original intent, but it's now stuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things, like, and yeah, like there's no one way to run a channel. There's no one way to do this or that or anything. I'm trying so hard. I'm just gonna say it. Like, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Of course there is.
But like,
All
and
right. So I
yeah.
have to go to the bathroom. Can you guys hold the chat for 5 or 10 minutes? Well, not 5 or 10, just like 3 minutes.
Sure.
You're fine to go to the bathroom. All right. So who's in charge?
Well, you
I don't
guys
know.
are.
Right,
We're
who
we're
are
we're
you sending in charge?
we're a community of friends. Dude, we don't need.
I tend to say that as a joke, just like,
I know. Now you're gonna make me. I'm gonna be peeing and feeling guilty. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Don't feel
Don't
bad.
don't do that.
Don't feel bad.
Don't pee or don't feel guilty.
Don't feel
Don't
guilty.
bad. Don't.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
But I just sometimes joke around, just being like, "Oh, who's in charge?"
I know.
And just like joke about like causing chaos on the channel, even though like I
Yeah.
would never do such a thing. Which one of the things that like I personally like hate having to go ahead and hop off the chat or hop off like this show to like go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
but it's a human instinct.
It's a necessity.
So it's just like one of those things. But
Yeah.
I've had to
So
do
tell-
it even during my 2-hour shows because things hit during the wrong time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and if someone else leaves for if someone else is going off, I tend to just like make the joke of, "Oh, who's in charge?"
Yeah.
And just go ahead and be like, haha, just like be like, make some type of gonna take over this channel joke. Which, oh, just so you know, like there every April Fool's Day, the first year I did it as a joke, and I did it last year just like as a skit. But every April Fool's Day around there, I do like a skit about like another channel taking over mine, and it's basically like a find some way to kidnap me and then like have like a evil monologue about what they would do with my channel, and then me somehow escape. So yeah.
Oh, you want to know the funniest April Fool's joke I've seen on YouTube?
Yeah.
It's with all these cat videos where they say me stroking the kitty. And it's said in such a way that your mind immediately goes to the gutter.
Mine did anyways.
No, but then when you click on the video, you see this little kitten that whoever the YouTube is just rubbing its head.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And then there is one of the pinned comments is for some of them, they say, "Get your mind out of the gutter." It's funny. It's funny because stroking the kitty, your mind instantly goes into the gutter. And YouTube was talking about a cat, an actual cat.
My mind is pretty hard to get in the gutter, but even.
Oh, the thing is, I think everybody clicks on those videos to see if YouTube actually let them do something like that.
Yeah, clickbait. Yeah,
exactly. And then I think the algorithm figured out that a lot of people do it because just to see if it's allowed.
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna like take a break from drawing for a little bit, just because like yeah. I'm still gonna be on air. I'm just gonna be saving stuff
Mm.
to make sure I don't accidentally forget to save it later.
Oh, by the
One
way,
good thing about
Chris.
Procreate is there's no saving with Procreate. It just automatically
Yo,
does it. But the bad thing is you can't like screw up and then go back to the last saved edition because it saves all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally so like when I save stuff to the computer, I'm like I tend to go ahead and I like to have things saved in specific spots. So
Ah.
like I have all of my stuff for one video saved in one spot, another video saved in another spot, but yeah.
you got
Organization.
that colored fast.
Yeah, you did, didn't he?
Yeah, I just stepped away to have like dinner and I come back and it's pretty much done. What?
Well, first of all, markers do it for you. Because once you put it down, it spreads. Mhm.
Yeah, that helps a little, but still, that was quick.
Alcohol markers have a tendency to spread like that.
You said alcohol, and I'm like, what? Oh yeah, alcohol markers. I always get thrown off.
Not the drinking
Pastry?
kind of alcohol.
Pastry?
Pastry.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
If you have a problem with alcohol, we're here to
Shame
help.
on you.
No, I just
That's
for
all.
whatever reason.
All I'm
like,
gonna say.
because
If
I'm
you
an
have a
artist-
problem with
No. I couldn't be on YouTube if that was the case, especially with the channel I'm on.
Chris,
I run.
Yeah, man.
kids these days, huh?
Yeah.
kids. Yeah. Kids.
Yeah.
Although you don't really feel like a kid. You know what I mean? Talking to you.
Yeah.
Nah, she's all right. Dang it! See, pastry's all right.
It's cool.
I caught
Yeah.
myself.
Pastry's all right.
Yeah.
It's the rest of the world that's a little screwed up.
They are all right.
You know what? I'm gonna just go
I'm
ahead and
working
just
on it.
blame. You know, Rick's not here to defend himself. I'm gonna blame Rick for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you blaming Crossy?
Simple. He's not here to defend himself.
Crossy could have just been
Simple.
like, "Oh, I don't know
He's
this
not here to
person."
defend him.
Yeah. If he was here, then we wouldn't be able to do this.
It doesn't matter. He was here.
And
He was
man,
here at the
if-
beginning of
if-
the stream. That's why.
Do you guys know who Lorenzo is?
Yes.
If he was on here, then he would have vouched for me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Lorenzo's a cool dude too. He would have stood up for you in a heartbeat.
Lorenzo's cool.
I'm pretty locked into Crossy's base these days. So even
Lorenzo's like the coolest guy that I ever pissed off that I feel bad about.
How did you piss off Lorenzo?
We had a stupid argument because I was in it with Pops from Comic Related Madness. I was in a disagreement. And Lorenzo came in one night and we just had it out and we're friendly again. Like we don't dislike each other. We comment, every now and then on Twitter. But we used to be a lot closer and it's like, damn, if that whole Pops thing didn't screw up a lot of stuff. But that was my fault. I just needed to be more mature about it.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it was my fault. But yeah, Lorenzo, we love Lorenzo.
Yeah. I was on his show yesterday. Or not yesterday, the day before. Or it was yesterday.
The Thursday night
or
show?
Thursday night show, yeah.
Yeah.
I was on it.
Yeah,
and,
the day before yesterday. Yeah.
Man, I literally there was this guy with a dog with a squeaky toy in the background and I literally lost it laughing. I completely lost it.
I did not get to see it. I don't watch Lorenzo's show only because I don't want to upset him or anything, but I really should drop in sometime and say hi. It's been a long
I
time
do.
since I've seen him in the stream.
It wouldn't upset him, I don't think.
remember though, I'm a freak. I'm like I overthink everything. Well, you don't know that about me, but I overthink everything. I'm like I don't
Hey,
want to
hey,
upset my
I'm
buddy.
sharing screen. You want to see something funny?
On let's see down here. Wait a minute, where?
Wait, I think I've even seen Mighty Geek before.
On Lorenzo, on
It took me
Lorenzo's show, you
until
probably have.
it took me until now to
Are you
figure
showing
that
it?
one out. Oh,
Yeah, can you see it?
yeah.
No,
I
I'm-
see the dog and then.
I'm
Yeah.
actually.
I see it.
I saw it.
We know you saw it. Mhm.
Yeah, that was a big thing around here for a while. And actually, there's residuals all everywhere. You know, I worked on a book, 100-page book for like 3 months over that upset, and it was not Lorenzo's upset, but the upset with comic related madness.
Mm.
But I got it out of my system. I feel better.
I
Yeah.
do like the ad you had for it, though. The only troll book to actually go to print. I was like, oh.
Well, we're still waiting on it. He and I had words the other day, about a week or two ago on Twitter, and I
Mhm.
was like, "You still haven't put it out." You know, it's. I feel bad for like all the people that worked on that thing
Yeah.
because, like, you know, they gave their time, they gave their energy. It's like, and the way that it was promoted and everything, I just felt like they were done wrong. You know, and it's none of my business. I'm out of it. I was out of it, but it just makes me like cringe a little. I
Yeah.
hate when artists get screwed.
I already had my therapeutic project when I did that doggy punch soda. When I had somebody draw that doggy punch soda sticker.
I love that thing, man.
You should totally get the poster off my Redbubble. Too.
If I had any extra money, I would. Maybe I can after the next payday. But that's you see that there in the guy's hands there.
Wait,
That's
what's that?
this ball thing in the guy's hands. That's a dodo ball, and their street name is Punch Puppy.
Oh, is that what you did to piss off Lorenzo?
No, what happened with
No.
Lorenzo was we were talking about the troll books, and he got confused and called my troll book by the other guy's title, and I was like, "That's it. Get out of my stream." I was such a big baby about it, and yeah, we just didn't talk for a while. It was really, it was just two bros just being like, "That's it, that little," and then we just started being friendly again on Twitter. That was just not too long ago. So
It all
maybe
boils down
next
to
Thursday I'll
childish
swing in and say
behavior.
hi.
Sometimes-
Yeah,
I sometimes even mess with Lorenzo. Sometimes when he messes up his words too much, I'm like, "Do you need some water,
Which
I never messed with his
sometimes
speech patterns.
I am a
But yeah,
victim of
I've
being
even
immature.
messed up my words on his stream too. But yeah, he knows that I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think the night that he and I had disagreement, we were both very angry and everything, but
Oh.
I'm sure that that's past. It's just I don't know. I'll talk to him sometime this week. Now that it's come up, I'll make sure I say something to him.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I was
be
saying
like,
that.
this bread roll mentioned your show.
You mean you?
Yes.
I'm gonna use you as my in. I'm gonna say, hey, have you ever heard of this day named Rebellious Pasty?
Pasty.
Pastry.
Did you mean to do that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man.
Well, but the timing couldn't have been any more perfect.
Foot in mouth. Ouch.
Oh, and do you want to know something funny? Most people of my gender would definitely get offended by that joke, but I
Oh
don't.
man, see, and that wasn't even a joke.
That wasn't even a joke. That's the
That was
the
just
whole
me being
point.
lazy with my enunciations. Oh Lord. I'm gonna get destroyed in this world, aren't I? I'm gonna go out and try to talk to young adults, and they're gonna be like, "Dude, get the hell away from us."
Yeah, I can get pretty rough with jokes, mostly off the channel though.
Well, I think I'm just blind to like what's offensive anymore. Just, oh, that's offensive. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. And I should know more. I mean, it's not like I don't.
Fun fact. Almost
When
anything
everything
is offensive these days.
when everything becomes offensive,
Nothing's
nothing is fun,
Yeah, everything's offensive these days, man.
and nothing is fun.
I was just making fun of you for the fact that you said that the fact that you forgot the R in pastry. Guess who have
Right.
done it? Guess who have done it? I've done it on thumbnails, but luckily it was on stream.
Yeah.
So, like my fans are like, "Oh, by the way, you forgot the R."
Oh, good. Good. I don't feel
That's
half
a
as
good
bad
way to
now.
laugh at yourself too.
Yeah, I laugh at myself for.
Well,
errors.
no, the thing is, people watching are not expecting you to actually do it.
To laugh at herself.
To actually come out and say rebellious pasty. That's me. No one's expecting Pastry to do that. So when she does do it, it's like they're trying to correct her without offending her.
Yeah, no, with most of the things like my fans like correct me on, I'm like, "Oh right," and then I like make fun of myself for being dumb. I do make fun of myself a lot on channel. I make fun of the fact I have bad handwriting. I also make fun of the fact that I'm clumsy.
Oh, my bad. My handwriting is terrible also, so don't worry about that one.
I make fun of my bad handwriting. Like whenever we're on a group project, I'm like, you would not want me to write anything. You wouldn't want me to write. You would not want me to write. Trust me on this.
Now, if you want me to print something, I can do that. But as far as script goes, you don't
I'll
want
share
that.
out to the group, but I'll share out to the class, but don't expect me to write shit.
Okay.
Yeah. But I tend to make fun of myself a lot.
Well, just don't take yourself too seriously when you do that.
Most of the time I can't really take myself that seriously. There's a few things I can, but most generally I don't make fun of those things of myself on air.
Hey guys,
Yes.
I
Well,
hate to do this, but I gotta kill the stream. My dog is in here whimpering. I think she needs to pee.
okay.
And
Oh,
I have to take care of her because she had surgery like 3 days ago.
You better do that.
She
That's
got
fine.
fixed. And I hate using
Oh.
that terminology, but after this, I'm going to have to feed her
I
because
know.
I've been on
She
I
got
hate,
the
I hate
snip.
that term because it makes everyone think that something about that dog was broken.
Yeah,
Nothing about the dog
exactly.
was broken.
She got
Nothing
the
about
snip
that
snap.
dog was broken.
I'm like, we just broke her. What do you mean she's fixed?
And I personally don't take offense to saying you got your dog fixed. Yeah.
It's not that it's offensive. It just doesn't sound right.
You know what the
Yeah.
biggest issue I find about people get offended? They get offended for other people. You know, it's like
Oh,
they
that's
get
never
offended
made
for
me
other
sense to
groups,
me.
and it doesn't seem very genuine. It's like, why are you offended? You're not of that group.
It's like me being offended because. But Tim, explain to me how can I be offended for you?
Exactly.
We can always talk during post or like after the stream.
I know.
All right, then
Well,
let me kill the stream. I'm going to go see my dog out the
Yep.
door. And
All right.
yeah, we can chat. Yeah, the room will stay open, right?
Yeah.
Until the
Oh,
last
right,
of
sorry.
until the last of us leaves.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just want to say it was nice meeting you, Rebellious. I'm going to check out your videos and catch you on the
Yeah.
stream, I'm sure. And Terry and Tim, you guys know. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
If you guys are out there and you watched it, thanks for being there. Sign up to any of our projects. I mean, I've got a
Yes.
couple. Rick's got a couple. Rick's got one. Melvin 2 is out.
Still
In demand
available.
on Indiegogo.
Back at
Yep.
pastry.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I just spaced out a little bit. Are we still on air? That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right now we are. Do you want
Right.
to promote anything before we get off?
Nothing other than my channel. I used to do Instagram, but I kind of fell off that because I'm like, I want to do my channel. So pretty much my channel is the only thing I have to promote these days. Wow.
And that channel's under Rebellious Pastry.
Pastry. Same name.
Pastry with an
same
R.
icon. Same
If
icon.
you like your channel's Rebellious and Pastry, then go to Rebellious Pastry.
Yep. Where you'll see more of my crazy shenanigans.
All right. So with that, I'm gonna kill the stream and
All right.
let's see. Okay.